Welcome back to Yamcha Sessions. Today we have Darren Chang from Auto Detailer and a bit of context. Okay, so there's a viewer. His name is Charles. He introduced me to Darren, and it was very nice. I feel like every time I'm very blessed in my life to meet so many interesting people. And this guy's like, bro, he's the Dom Toretto of Malaysia. And but better. Then I'm like, huh? So he brings me to Jaya One. And he brings me through a tour. And he's like, wait, chill. Darren's cycling right now. I'm the one who got him to cycling also. So after that, I waited lah, right? Then Darren comes. He's like, hey, sup, brother. Then after he shows me around, I tell you, it's like you're in a movie. Or at least a Gran Turismo game. But IRL. So I'm not a car person.
Exactly.
Okay?
It's funny why he loved it.
Yeah. But Charles is a big car guy.
Shout
right?
out to you, Charles.
Yeah, shout out Charles. He should be on the pod also, I feel. Right? And he's like, I love how you don't like cars. Because you ask questions that are not something a car person would ask. Right? So for context, there, and even my knowledge of... There was one time we were having a car discussion. It's like, oh, what's your favorite car? Then he says GTR. Then I'm like, is it Mustang GT? So I got shat on lah, right? I'm just not a car person, right? But I found like it was so... I find interest in people who have interest. And when I go to your place that time, you can tell, right, that this thing is a labor of love. You can tell, I feel it, I felt it lah, right? So when I showed a couple of my friends that were car enthusiasts, they're like, bro, underground garage, oh my God.
Need for speed.
Yeah. So I think Charles, thank you. He said that you should totally speak to Darren, and turns out you're celebrating your 20th year in the auto detailing business.
Really?
Yes.
You started at the age of 10?
Not 5.
I thought you said.
I think it's
I thought you were a Don Toretto fan. You got the ages wrong.
Yeah. So congrats, bro. 20 years
Thank
is a
you.
long time.
Thank you.
It's a journey for sure.
It is a journey.
Yeah, but maybe we dial it back because that's what we do on Yamcha. We want to know how you got here, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So maybe I had a brief conversation with you about your parents, and turns out they didn't do anything related to cars, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
Maybe you run us through, bro. What did your parents do when you were growing up?
They had to raise me.
Are you going to say they are Kedai Runcit owner?
But they were into cars, right?
How much info do you want?
I don't know. What did your dad do, bro?
Yeah.
My dad was in insurance.
Okay.
He was doing that for most of his life. My mom was a teacher and became a full-time homemaker to raise me and my brother.
Okay. Oh, so just two of you.
Just two of us.
Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't look like Dom either.
No dog, just checking.
Not a Paul Walker or anything.
No, Paul. Okay.
Yeah. So your question again.
So basically, they
Parents?
weren't involved in automotive whatsoever. lah.
No.
And when you were growing up, what did you study? What did you do?
In high school is high school.
Okay. Like what everyone studied.
Oh, you just did
I
your...
can't really recall what I studied also.
Because
I made it through the
Malaysian
grades.
education ain't the best, so you don't really
You
remember
did
what
your
studied.
SPM only lah, right? Then after
Yeah.
that, what did you do? A degree or did you do a diploma? Or anything?
I went to study in college, Metropolitan College.
Oh,
Then-
Subang one ah?
Yeah, Subang.
Oh,
Yeah. It was popular then.
Yeah, man. It was next door to 3KL.
Yes.
Is it still there?
Yes.
No, they
Yeah.
convert to Inti. already.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Ah.
I think the business was sort of sold off or merged into another one. Yeah.
Actually, to just give a gauge on how you have lived through life, right? Last time, how
Shit,
much was
that
Milo
sound like I'm
for
80
you?
years old.
How much Milo was for you? Yeah. At least it
Ask
gives
you
me
about
an
Milo.
indication, how things were differently last time. How much was Milo last time? you?
Embarrassingly, I would have to say I never bought my own Milo until I grew up.
Okay lah, about roti canai. 50 cents?
Same thing.
But it was like...
I think it was like 70 cents, 80 cents.
But that's the same price as us, bro. When we were in high school, 70 cents or so.
When we were younger, 80 cents, 70 cents.
Same age as him.
Yeah. Plus minus, yeah.
Plus
probably.
minus.
They still
Everybody
have-
just 25 this year.
You still have hair though. Yeah. So don't take so much MSG. And
Uncle Roger, man.
Wait, what did you study in
Yeah, what
Metropolitan
you study
College?
in
ah?
Metro?
Okay, so I angan went to college and I thought when I looked at the whole list, right, I had no idea what I wanted to study. I know I had to go to college. So I looked at it and I thought accounting looked cool.
Bro, that's a scam, bro.
Wow.
That's what I did also at first.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
accounting looks cool,
Yeah.
but I didn't finish it.
Accounting can look cool.
No, like, it feels like the right thing to do, lah. It's
It looks like the right thing to do on paper. Yeah, so I signed up for it, flunked the first semester. Yeah.
as one does.
Man lah.
And then I realized, the thing in life is the philosophy is that if you fail something, you try harder. So I got my friends and they helped me.
How did they help
you
you?
Try
harder.
smarter, lah.
The right way or the smarter way?
Off the record, I had them give me answers during the exam.
nice.
That's the sharing of resources.
Yes.
Sharing of resources.
Yes.
Nice,
Correct.
nice.
Correct. That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Then you finish-
I hope they don't cancel my degree.
No lah. Bro, by the time even if they cancel now, right, it's like
So
no
what?
point already.
Just buy a new one. Wow.
Okay. All right. So after you finished your accounting stuff, then did you know that you're going to go into the automotive industry, or did something sway you?
A little bit of context because it's a little bit complex during that period. I worked with my family. So my father's an entrepreneur. He's a serial entrepreneur, so to speak. So when we were growing up as well, after he ended his insurance period of time when he was the agency head, he started up a few businesses. So I would help him in a few of the businesses. While I was in my teens, we would be selling cookware, for example. He brought in cookware from the US. He likes to study about things that helps other people or benefit. So he brought in all these American-made cookingware. I think it was Kitchen Craft at the time. So I would follow them because my mom and dad would go out to people's homes, home demos, very Tupperware party sort of thing.
Got it.
You know, yeah. So I would take care of my younger brother while they would do the demos, and after that they'll finish up late and we'll head home. So that's how I started understanding about my dad's businesses, my parents' businesses, and sort of gave me a bit of an eye opener into what it takes to be an entrepreneur, or how do you provide for your family. So that was
The core.
the core bit of it. Then he brought in a lot of products here. There was a time he brought in a magnetic oil filter, a strap that you put onto your oil filter, and that helps to basically pull away all the magnetic particulates onto the side, extending the lifespan of that. But you try explaining that to people, like I helped him sell it to the neighborhood. So you go to door to door to the neighbors. Are you keen on this? This will help you. And these are the
You go door to door.
yeah. Well, I was young then, right? So didn't have no Facebook, no Twitter, no TikTok, no OnlyFans, nothing. Yeah.
So your mom and dad, they were like entrepreneurs, but you can say like slash salesperson. So they
No,
have to
my
get-
dad was.
Your dad?
My dad was.
Okay.
My mom was always the support for the family.
like a perfect nuclear family, lah. Right.
Yeah.
My follow-up question to you, because I always believe that if you want to really be a really good businessman, right, you need to know how to do sales.
Yes.
So you have seen that, you have done through that. Is that
Yes.
something that you think is true as well?
I think I have a lot of respect for people who are in sales because it takes a lot to get into that mindset, to have
take
conversations
rejection.
with. Yeah, I mean, imagine as simple as sometimes when you at the mall, right, and someone comes up to you, hey, here's another credit card for, and you're like, oh my goodness, it's like the millionth one, right? And I already have 1 million cards inside there. I've got to pay for them too, right?
Yeah.
And you tell them, no, I'm not keen. Sometimes they egg you on a little bit, but I always believe if you really wanted to get it forward with life, to be able to get that initial crack of the egg, right, you go into sales. It's a tough as heck thing.
It's a brutal lesson, man.
It's a brutal lesson. It's either that or you take on customer service. You try that.
So savage, lah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's something. It's a physical skill that people have to learn. It's about reading other people to understand people
over
to-
time.
Yeah, and then also take a shit ton of embarrassment and rejection, and then how do you bounce back?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So that means your dad confirmed went through all this,
He's actually very good at his work. I think I grew up watching him in the agency. I used to follow him to the office. I see all his stacks of all his insurance proposals and stuff. He is a person who would head into work at 6:37 in the morning, and he's fully dressed.
Wow.
I am the opposite. I'm the t-shirt, chill, jeans kind of guy, right? But I think his work attitude, his commitment to putting in the time every day, I think that was the inspiration for me, and it sort of shaped my philosophy in life, so to speak,
see.
without sounding
So that's how you kind of took it from him.
Yes, I believe so. I believe so.
Wow.
Yeah.
But did he do anything related to cars? Is that how you would transition there?
Actually,
or?
no, not at all. I mean, he's had some products here and there that we would help to sell. We ran a petrol station for a while.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
Very
How-
interesting.
How do you run a petrol station?
So this is a funny story, right? Okay, let me get the context correct. So my dad had a friend who had a petrol station that was going to be shut down. This was in Ceras Batu Sembilan. It's
Wow.
near where that new toll is. Yeah, I forgot the name.
don't know the
Yeah,
name
it's on the way to Ululangat.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So before the toll was there, it was quite far in, and this petrol station was doing very badly. It was an Esso petrol station.
I knew it.
I don't know whether your
Esso.
generation has heard it.
I remember Esso is white. It's
with
white
the
color,
tiger,
red and
white, red, with the tiger, right?
Yeah.
So it's sort of like that Keloq's Tony thing, right? So he told my dad, hey, it's doing quite poorly and they're in debt actually. So why don't you come in and let's see whether we could do something. And my dad always likes a challenge, right? And he's like, petrol station, right? So I said, okay, let's go. So naturally, I'm being the eldest. I follow him and I start learning about the business, which was not much of a business. The convenience store was completely empty. There were stacks of supplier bills dating for 1.5 to 2 years of debt that was accrued, and it was a lot. It was in the tens of thousands just to clear before you even start work, right? And then there's the business of the petrol. So the gas station business is it's not something you want to just jump into. Not during my era, at least. But in my era, you would have to man the pumps yourself. There's no self-service. Self-service was something that you would start many years later after we stopped.
So you need to have service crew to go and pump people.
You have to have service crew.
Isn't there now
Yeah.
still having service crew? Like sometimes I go to Shell, there are
but rare
people-
lah.
So they assist, but you'll notice most are foreign workers, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then you've got your basic cashiers. But last time, every pump we had to have an attendant.
Every pump.
Every
That's
pump.
a lot
Yeah.
of
Yes. Yeah.
pay caps. I mean, salaries.
You have to, and then you have to deal with a lot of things. So, the biggest risk of the business, what we learned, and it took us about 1.5 years to learn it, was every time the gas tanker would arrive, and this is something you book, and you have to pay for it in cash before that. You have to measure the amount of petrol or diesel down in the underground tanks.
Yeah.
So we use special rulers and tools. So you got to measure them, and then you got to measure what's in the tanker before they put it in, so that
It's the
nothing
correct
goes
amount.
missing as well.
Yeah.
Between the time it leaves the refinery to the time it reaches the gas station,
Right,
right?
okay.
And then you also have to worry. Back then, it wasn't so electronic, right? So when people fuel up, the dishonest technicians, right, they would jam the meters. So they would fill up into a little tank or a can, and then they would sell that to the bikes, the small ones, right? So the margins were very poor. If I recall correctly, it was something like I think it was $1.10 or $1.20. I can't recall. It was so far back, but you made something like a gross profit of about 2 cents per liter.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if
That's
it's ridiculous. So if you ever had some, and we had those that comes in a car, fuels up, right, and then he jets off because they do the usual, right, full tank,
Yeah,
and then they run off. That's your take for the whole week.
They run off.
Yeah, they drive off.
They don't pay.
They don't pay. Yeah. It happens now. Now you can't because
Now you cannot.
you got to pay first. Then you go to
Yeah.
So back then it was based on an honest system, and I guess not everyone is honest. So we had that, and then you had the other biggest issue inside the convenience store of a gas station. I hope it doesn't stop anyone from getting to the business at all. was cigarettes.
Okay.
Cigarettes. The margin is controlled 10%. Right?
Yeah,
Back then, I think it's probably similar now. But what they would do is these syndicates would come late at night, and because the gas station by law is 24 hours, so you have to actually hire 2 sets of crew.
What?
No holidays. Yeah.
But now,
7 days a week.
Now it's 24. No, right?
No, because of the MCO, because of all
Yeah.
the modern changes, and because it's mostly self-service, right? You can run it, and you don't have to run the convenience store.
But
Yeah.
convenience store now are closed, but if there's people inside, you can ask them to buy, you take things for you and then you pay
Yes,
for them.
yes,
But you
yeah.
cannot enter the
Cannot
place.
enter,
I think it's
cannot
for
enter.
safety
For
purposes.
safety purposes,
Yeah.
because most of these syndicates, they start their stuff
After
at
10,
night,
lah, you know?
after 10 years at night.
Time to go work, guys.
Correct. But I think that was the challenge, and so we had a couple of periods of time where we had these syndicates come in, and they won't buy a packet of cigarette, they go for a whole pack of Marlboros, a whole pack,
Like 10
carton,
yeah, a whole carton,
Uh-huh.
right? And they'll go for maybe 3 outers or 4 outers, which is packs of them, right?
Wow.
And then they pay with a card.
And then the card don't jalan.
The card jalan, but it's a
Fake card.
Stolen.
Stolen card.
yes, it's a replicated card, yeah.
Oh.
And then the next thing next day you line numbers. What did you sell? Like, how much was that? Like $600-700 of cigarettes, right?
Gone.
In one night. Nobody buys that much. You can't be that addicted to it.
Mm.
And then when you do your tally at the end of the day, and the car
Loss.
settlement doesn't work, you make another big loss. So that's that. Yeah.
Wow, system last
For a
time was
year
so-
plus,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
quite brutal, man.
It was brutal.
I
It
want
was
to say your
brutal.
dad has the biggest cojones to like, hey man, petrol station, let's go.
I think he has it's in his DNA. Yeah. He takes challenges to that. I think for him it's like it's almost reactive. Oh, there's an opportunity, there's something to try out. Let's go for it.
Okay, so you guys did like a year plus, but ESO eventually closed down, right?
Yeah. So when we took over, we had to convert everything, and we had to first get our own capital in to pay off all the vendors. Otherwise,
Yeah,
you could even get Spritzer mineral water because you owed them.
You owe them money.
I think it was like 15,000 ringgit just for that, and then there's Coca-Cola, F&N, and all the other people that you owed, right? So we eventually cleared all the debts, and then we had an empty C-store or convenience store. Now, if you understand what the margins and how poor they were on the actual petrol that you make, the convenience store is where you can make money. Yeah. So I was, I think I just started college then, and my mind went to work lah. So just like my dad, I called up F&N. I said, hey, would you guys mind sending your sales manager over for the region? Let's have a chat. So they came over and I said, okay.
Oh, it really came over?
They came over.
Wow.
They came over.
Just a phone call.
Yes.
What a cool chat. Nowadays, lah, hello.
Yeah.
Ding, ding,
Yeah,
ding.
bro.
I think back in that well, I am that older. I'm 47 this year. So back during that time, yeah, I think the departments, they were a little bit more personal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we called them, they came over and I said, how can we make this work? I've got all these cooler boxes, all these refrigerators that has all these racks, right? And let's make a deal. I'll give you 60% of the rack space for all F&N and Coca-Cola stuff. I will pay for the products.
Okay.
I will give you frontage. And I can't go exclusive, of course. We need all the variety, right? But you support me in terms of marketing. You support me in terms of offers.
Okay.
And I said, Chinese New Year is coming up. We've got Raya after that, everything else as well. So we're going to take large quantities. And this is what I want to do. I can't remember what was the amount we negotiated so far back. But for every X amount of cartons that we ordered, you match me with 1 extra carton free.
Wow.
Okay.
I think it was 5 and then free 1. And we started off that way. And we see, the thing is, the worst thing to have somebody experience in retail is empty shelves.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing I need to do. I need to fill up all the shelves.
Yeah.
So we had one whole entire fridge that was just Coca-Cola. Starting to look good. I was there back in my jacket, right? And it's freezing cold. You sneeze and everything's and you're stacking up all the cans, right? And then I realized I still need to do more. So I called them up again and said, okay, I'm going to increase the order. Can you top up something on top of whatever we've discussed? So we eventually got special promotions, like if we took I think it was every 2 cartons or 3 cartons, you got a McDonald's
toy? Or
Value meal voucher.
Oh.
Full meal. It's a full meal. You just take it, you go and redeem it. I had a lot of free meals. So there's a reason why I don't eat McDonald's up to this point.
Too much.
It was a lot. I was on a Coke a day habit lah. Back then, when diabetes wasn't even a thing, right? So it caught on, and then after that we started doing displays on the front, and then I did the same thing with a lot of suppliers, and we had these empty water jet like dispensers, and I know Malaysians like two things, Milo.
Yeah.
Right, so we got the Milo refills in there. We started selling them, and then on top of that, the other thing that all Chinese people like is soya bean, right?
Oh yeah.
So,
So
I looked at Drinho, and Drinho had their packs, right? I feel Drinho tastes a little better than Yohap Singh's all these years from Chinese New Year, right? So okay, I'm gonna order about 20 cartons of the large. I think it was a 1 liter pack, right?
It's like the
The big one.
Yeah,
You gotta
yeah,
cut
yeah.
yourself,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Then I calculated, once we filled it up, we did a full experiment and calculated, I could make 400 times whatever I paid for the amount.
Margin
So, the margin. It was that good. And because it's got preservatives, it lasts as well as
long
the whole
time.
day. It's not like a natural one, right? So we started doing that. And then I went nearby to the Ulu Langat neighborhood. There were some Malay vendors. They sold different types of kueh. So we sort of had an arrangement with them, and then we sold the kuehs together. So it became sort of like a
Breakfast
local
morning.
breakfast joint. Back then, before all the hipster coffee places came out, right? So people go to a petrol station, get your Nescafe, and then
Warung.
like almost like a warung, right? Then we had nasi lemak and all that. So, they're no longer around, but back then you had to register every product with a PLU. That's a product lookup code, and there's nothing for nasi lemak and all that, right? So we just looked for the nearest item that matched it, and then so we were selling like snacks, but it's actually nasi lemak.
Snacks is nasi lemak.
That's nasi lemak. Yeah, so we had like a little cheat sheet there.
see.
So then we had all the candies, we had a lot of stuff. We started bringing in the lubes, and we started selling them, and it became a good business. I think within a year and a half, we got from where it was going to be closed and shut down to the number 2 in the country.
What the shit?
Yeah, it
Essentially
was that busy.
changed your petrol station to be a cafe.
Yes, we
what
lost.
it
We lost the number 1 spot because the biggest SO at that time was the one in Sungai Besi. That was the only Sungai Besi, and they had an ayam mas, and that was like my dream.
Sorry lah,
They had the
ayam mas is-
ayam mas there, and they were selling it.
Ayamas is the shit lah.
It was the shit. That was the alternative to KFC.
KFC.
now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, for all types of USBs. All right. And we wanted to do all of that, but we couldn't. So they had the volume. They did it so well. I remember that F&N would usually park their delivery trucks outside during Raya because they sell them by cartons.
Wow.
So when you leave Seremban Highway, right?
Yes,
So I see
that
that,
makes
right?
so much
You
sense.
just grab 1, grab 2, and you couldn't beat the volume. The volume was like 6-7 times our volume.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the highway that you
But that's a
Yes.
location thing
That-
also lah.
It's a
that's why.
location thing, and
And it's ayamas lah.
I think that time there was only them. I don't think there were other gas stations around, so they were the king lah.
Yeah, they solo, they monopolized
Yes,
the area.
correct.
No, listen to this, it's quite cool. I'm just so impressed that you managed to think of all of this when you just entered college. Is it because of the
It's the
times
dad.
that you followed your dad and you see your dad go through, saying you like,
It's opportunity way.
I would say yes, but at the same time, I guess I'm Chinese.
China. Oh my god, it's in the blood, I know.
It is.
Wu Yao Jian.
Yes.
Wu Yao Jian.
The need to survive is important, right? That's
Correct,
it's rooted into our DNA, and to survive, you need money. So
How to make money?
How to make money? Yeah.
I guess. Okay.
That's
There's always a way, in the end, there's always a way. You just got to find the right method to do it, and then you will get it,
But your gas station only did basically food and pump gas, but they didn't have the car wash. They didn't have like a service thing or nothing.
No. So I remember. So my dad had his success from before, so that sort of carried the family through our home. He had a Volvo 760 GLE. It was cool then.
car.
It's not so cool
Volvo's-
now.
I
yeah.
still think
it was the
Volvo's
uncle
a cool
car. lah.
car.
It is a cool uncle's
Whoever
car.
keeps saying it's an uncle car.
It is an uncle car.
Eh.
I'm not saying it's an
It's
uncle car.
not really Uncle Car. Volvo these days are super trendy. Your C40s are super cool.
And
The
still,
S40.
and still, you find that the bulk of the people buying it are businessmen as well.
because those are the only ones who can afford it. I think. Hey, they're expensive, dude. Like an S60 is like 200 plus. Not many can afford that.
Correct.
But it's known to be the safest car, right? They are the ones that invented the seatbelt.
Seatbelt.
They were
and then-
they were the tank lah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's either that or if you had a lot more money, then you go for the Mercedes Benz or
Yeah.
the BMWs, right? Yeah.
Our buses are made from Volvos also.
Yes,
yeah,
correct.
yeah, that's
correct,
true.
Correct.
That's true.
Correct.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, okay. So via that gas station, how did you transition to still doing auto? Because if you were going through that amount of success in your gas station, right? Why didn't you just want to replicate that? You know, it doesn't make sense for you
because
to go to a different.
right after we got it to that spot, they announced that they were going to build the toll.
Is that better? You got more.
That killed it. The toll
Then
goes
people
past
don't
it.
want to use your.
No, the toll literally went past the road. It was
mean you-
extended. It went past. It became a neighborhood gas station already because of that.
So it's no
We
longer.
used to be access next to the almost like a highway. Then when the toll was built, it just completely obliterated the business there.
I see. So
Yeah.
it's no longer the toll that you must go to wherever you want to
No.
go. So, but it's just it's a petrol station at a house.
Yes. So this was the 9 Mile Cheras one. So you see that all I can't recall the name right now, but it's the one on the way to Langat, right? And you will see the tolls there, and you still see a gas station there, but they're different gas stations now, right? Yeah, it's on the left side if you're heading back to Cheras. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shell. Shell.
I think it's a
cannot-
Shell.
I cannot recall. It will be one of them.
I cannot recall.
Yeah.
as well.
It's that long ago.
So when the toll was erected, then straight away everything gone.
Killed.
Then what did your family do after that?
I
sold
think
off
I
the-
think there was some discussion, and then we basically gave up the business. Yeah,
What?
took the loss as well because we just finished paying for everything, and we haven't gotten profitable yet actually, because we
make
spent
up
so
money.
much to still try and cover for what the negatives were at the
Yeah.
time,
Yep.
and then we gave up.
Oh shoot.
Yeah,
Damn it.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, man. Sounds like success story, but then like so unfortunate.
What
Yeah.
what it is the footing for a greater success story. That's what it is.
Oh, that's true. So what did you do after that then?
while I was doing that, I was in college actually, so I was
So you concurrent, ma, right?
so concurrent. There was a period of time as
Yeah.
well. Then it was also then that was the around that time there was the 97 crisis as well. Yeah,
Oh,
so
man,
it's one after another, right? And there were other businesses that my dad did as well that started. He's a serial entrepreneur, right? So we started an ice cream business.
What's the name?
I think if you go to most
Pedal
of
Pop.
the not Pedal Pop. Pedal Pop is like I think they cover 90% of the market's demand walls
lah.
itself. Yeah, we brought in Bula.
Oh, so familiar.
Yeah, it was
Italian?
an Australian,
Australian.
ice cream. There was Tip Top then, and then there's Bula. So we brought some of these in, the yogurts, the ice cream. So we ran that for a while. I would follow the ice cream truck, and we would go deliveries, go door to door to all the clubhouses, go to the condos, and then we sell it to all the expat places.
I see.
Yeah, and I'll be up at 5:30 in the morning, and then follow the truck and go outside and hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we can do. We can offer you a freezer. We did all of that. So yeah, I've done all sorts of sales.
That's the way to go, lah. I like it, lah.
Your life is diverse as shit.
It is.
But
It is very
you didn't
diverse.
really
Yeah.
continue also, right? In the end.
Okay, so with that business, we got hit quite hard. The first there was a period of time, might be before your era, where we had the Kosaki virus.
What in the world? is that?
Kiyosaki virus?
No,
What?
the Kosaki. See,
Gas
No, what's that,
virus?
right? So it's like a hand, foot, mouth disease
Oh.
virus.
That's why now you have to put the injection when you are in the
Yeah.
That's one of them. That's one of them as well. But the Kosaki virus came in quite bad. So we were selling it to all the expats, all the condos, and also where the convenience stores were. Right? And the kids were coming down and they're buying, and then they go swimming. And then
Oh,
we were selling it to the
shit.
schools as well. Then all of a sudden with the Kosaki, right, for that half a year, nobody came out.
So it's like COVID.
Almost
at
like
that time.
COVID, but for kids, lah. Because it's a hand, foot, mouth thing, right? So that impacted the sales. And right after that, as we were trying to make adjustments, we got hit with the biggest nationwide blackout ever, which was for
Blackout?
a full day or day and a half.
I thought the greatest
Wow.
blackout was
Yeah,
the Najib
TMB.
blackout. but
No, not that one.
it's not that.
that one's a lot more interesting. Yeah, yeah. This one, we lost power. I think it was a national grid.
We
literally,
lost power?
yeah, we lost power. Yeah,
day and a
literally,
half, ah.
yeah. So what happened was, we see all these items are also on consignment,
Yeah,
right?
it's-
Consignment,
Highlight,
not
bro.
on sale. Yes.
Oh,
so
shit,
all the ice creams that we were selling them in sticks, right?
Or
Oh,
become
God,
like
They melted.
Water lah.
Every shop we went to, it was just a
a pool.
mixed pool of
cream.
Different ice cream.
Is it that's why they came out with that tube thing? Then you suck the ice cream. Is it? Was
That's,
it because of that?
that's a different.
That's a different thing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so
That's just sad.
so
man.
we would and of course naturally nobody wants to cover for it. It's nobody's fault, right? So we had to take back all the freezers. We had to clean them. We made so much losses during that period as well. And then after that, as you were making adjustments, the 97 financial crisis hit. And the Australian dollar just shot up. I think we had back then. I think we had only like a gross margin of about 20% when the ringgit devalued. When the Australian dollar went up, right? It wasn't even enough
So you
to
were
even
losing.
cover. Yeah, you were losing. So
Right.
so it was almost an overnight, like bad news. And yeah,
Shit is so fragile, man.
yes, it was.
Life
So that
is
was
so-
tough. That
The
was tough.
real question is, how did we have blackout in 97? We were like, what, 5 years old?
Yeah.
We were still a kid. 2
Yeah.
days, no electric?
Yes, about it was a day and a half, but that was enough
that's
for
enough
us
to melt
yeah,
ice cream.
just
Yeah,
melt
yeah.
all the ice creams
One day,
already.
bro.
Actually, half day enough already.
What do
lah.
you do? One day,
Yeah.
no electric.
Yeah.
You can't operate, man.
That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
1996. Wow.
That's so
Yeah.
sad.
There's something I need to ask.
And then
about
next year was 97 crisis, like
Damn
champion year after
sway.
year.
that. Back soiness, bro. Back to back soiness, bro. So what happened 98 lah? Talk to me to 98 lah.
98. So we eventually gave up the business. We had some relatives, my uncles took over and they're running it now. So you'll see some of the ice creams. It continues. They brought in some other brands as well. I think the Ben and Jerry's flavors,
shoot.
Tillamook and all that. So that's what's handled by my uncle right now. Yeah. So
Can you help me pass them a
Oh,
message?
Andrew's gonna ask you a very interesting
What?
question.
Got discount,
No lah.
No.
No, Ben and Jerry's is this flavor. It's
Yes.
called Americone Dream.
yes,
I absolutely love that flavor. And the only place, which I recently found out maybe 6 months to a year ago, that
yeah.
sells it here is in Ben's Independent Grocer. But that seems to be the only place you can get that specific flavor. Everywhere else that sells Ben and Jerry's doesn't have that flavor.
after the podcast, I'll pass you the number for the distributor so you can go direct.
all right. I go and buy a carton lah.
just- just
I
get
go
a
and be the
carton.
syndicate who
know,
buys cigarettes lah.
I used to have to go like, oh, they don't have this because I also like fish food. Fish food is one of my favorites from Ben and
okay,
Jerry's.
okay,
and
yeah,
there's
yeah.
also they've got all the chocolates and triple chocolate. and
Yeah,
everything.
triple chocolate is good,
So,
yeah. Chunky
and,
monkey,
but
yeah.
not everyone has the flavors, as
Yes.
you know, and. It actually all boils down to who is the procurement person at that particular supermarket.
Right,
If he's
right.
very sharp or he or she's very sharp, they will know what's disappearing
flavors.
fast. But
Yeah, yeah.
most of the time, they just go with
just-
the standard ones. And most of the flavors that are there, they're like, you know,
how different can it be?
Yeah,
Kind
it's
of
just
thing.
it's
all
all the
just
same thing.
spreadsheet.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think with American flavors, ice cream, you need to get them punchy and different.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
they're gonna be like vanilla, like everyone
the
has
point?
Everyone's
vanilla,
so
right?
hot,
So
lah.
yeah.
Valid.
Yes,
Alright.
yes, yes.
Since you're
So I think you've done your hunts already, going
Yeah,
from
yeah,
one
yeah.
giant grocer to
Bro, I
Ben's.
try
and
everything,
yeah,
bro.
I
Only
know.
Publica,
I know.
Ben's and they
I
got
know. It crushes you every time you go there. You pay for parking. Like
From-
ah.
There's this ice cream that we eat in Japan. Can you ask your uncle to bring that here to Malaysia?
Wow, Ohio creme brulee.
Yeah,
Fucking
can help,
hell, man.
All the ice cream in Japan is fantastic.
Yeah, can
Bro, but this one is
This
drugs,
one is
you
like
know.
at 6 o'clock, so we are eating it in the cold of
Yeah.
7-Eleven.
Ohio creme brulee.
What is that?
bro.
Is that so? It's a creme brulee.
Yeah.
It's flat, and then they have a creme brulee
Yeah,
top.
yeah.
And when you crack it, it's
Yeah.
vanilla ice cream underneath. Wow, shit, man. That
So as you know, we have an interest going to Japan, right?
Yeah.
So my friend said that's my hometown. So Japan has Japan ice cream and flavors. They are a lot more mild.
they are.
Yeah,
They
they're
are.
not. They're nowhere as
Not so intense.
No, none of the intensity. So they're very refined, just
Yes.
like their dishes. But what is just impressive is how they engineer their ice creams. You can have like a chocolate coated ice cream, right? I next time you go, I'll give you a list of the ice creams to buy at the different convenies. So some are at Family Mart, some are at Lawson. So they've got these beautiful, like you know, Magnum or something like that,
Yeah.
something similar. When you bite them, what's the worst thing that happens?
The chocolate
fucking
falls
thing
down.
falls
The
right?
chocolate falls down. Yeah.
Can I tell you that you can take them right off the base of the freezers that I've tried them. I'm a bit of a geek lah. I'm an otaku lah. So even ice cream I eat, I can tell you what's the general ingredient and how they engineered it because I love eating.
I just gotta
Alright?
say, Darren's got incredible fucking food taste.
Yes,
Okay,
serious,
noted.
That's why I had to cycle.
He has recommended this restaurant in Jaya One, and I was like, huh, what restaurant? He brought us for lunch. Wow, bro, food there is incredible.
Which restaurant is this?
I don't know what it's called, but it's local cuisine, right?
Yes, it's Chef Andy's. Yeah,
Chef
so he
Andy's.
does some amazing food here.
Incredible.
Yeah, I can help you unlock the ones in OUG as well. OUG Oakland Road also.
No, because this guy used to go FGA also, so he knows lah.
Yes.
Got it. But yeah, you were saying your base of the ice cream.
Okay, so with the ice cream, right? As you eat it, right, and it's frozen, you get the same crunch, but it never breaks.
How can the ice cream don't
It
break?
never shattered all across.
The shell never cracks.
Ah.
It's beautiful. It just you bite into it,
And then-
it just goes in. Into
It's
the
your
base.
bite only.
It's the perfect
It's
bite.
just something about how Japan does their stuff.
Yeah.
No, it's because Japan cares, bro. They just every touch point they need to know. They need to know what is the worst that could happen. and
I
then
think
they
they're
reverse
they're-
engineer that
So
shit.
I'm
R&D.
diagnosed OCD, right? I'm
he
of the
does.
extreme kind. I think most Japanese are that way as
Yeah.
well. You know, they like something and they will over engineer it, and there's the joy in that.
Yeah.
It's like nobody else can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that goes for a lot. There's soft serve ice cream that's frozen. Still tastes like soft serve, right?
Yeah,
How does that
bro.
happen?
With the plastic
How does
thing
that
on top,
happen?
right, bro?
Yes. We've got so many local brands here and big brands, right? Unilever. Have you ever seen any of them engineer stuff
way.
like that?
No.
It's
Frosty and
it's
shit.
what it is,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, your paddle pop's your paddle pop. And if you want your Magnum to be nice, you have to take it out, let it thaw for about 3 minutes before you start eating. Then that's when the
Yeah.
chocolate shell starts to soften,
Soften a
right?
bit, yeah.
So we make adjustments. But when you go to Japan,
They adjust for you.
everything's adjusted for you. And that's
Correct.
their flex.
Japan,
their flex, man.
is Japan the best country?
No lah, not to work in lah. But for holiday, absolutely.
Probably,
man.
absolutely lah. Well, let's go back to your SO journey.
Yes.
So finish, then you got 97, then you got 98.
Yeah.
So
After ice cream,
back to the question that John has been asking. So how do you go into cars?
Okay, so it's a very divergent question because my he likes cars, right?
I like
But
your dad in it
he
lah.
is a very family man.
Donald Torrento.
This always goes back to that.
You can make that joke, but I don't think he's even watched that show before. He's a family man, so he's not someone that I've known all these years to buy things for his own pleasure. It's always family first, right? That's his principle. So that's why the Volvo. It's safe, it's secure for the family. I know he bought it for the kids, me and my brother. So we used to take care of the car. So he would get Autoglym products, if you've heard that brand, AUTOGLYM, and that's from the UK. And they have the shampoos, they have all these car care products, the tire dressing and everything. So he would train me on how to take care of the car. I would learn how to do basic polishing and waxing. So I would be the child labor. But it's something I could do quite well.
and you enjoy it, I'm assuming.
I
think as a kid,
I like
probably
the
not lah.
process.
Oh.
Yeah,
Your OCD,
exactly right.
right? Yeah.
It's I think with everything it's like when I'll jump into a different topic. The reason why I make so much good friends in terms of all the food vendors that I go to, restaurants, is 'cause I enjoy watching them prepare the food. There's a certain skill, there's a certain passion. There are techniques that when you get close to them, they will share with you how they do certain things. And that always intrigues me. It's understanding the science behind how something works, right? And that's how it works for me. And when I was a kid, I was already figuring out, okay, I was doing polishing with this product and there were some scratches I couldn't remove. And then I felt the material, I felt abrasives, right? And then I looked into my toilet and I took out my toothpaste and I started using it to polish and it worked. So essentially it's still an abrasive. Yeah, it's actually a safer one, less toxic. And so I love cracking and understanding about how things work, what's the chemical process behind it, or, what's the physics behind it. And that's what intrigues me. So I took that on as an interest. So when I got into college, my dad got me an old Beetle.
Okay.
I think it's a 1974 or 1971 Beetle.
What color?
Yellow.
Yellow.
Yeah, exactly,
kind
like
lah.
Transformers, Bumblebee sort of thing. Yeah, and I would have to, it was bought from a friend and I would have to go to the workshop every alternate week to
Service.
make sure the car doesn't leak and it's
Right,
leaking and so we were on a budget at that time. We didn't have much money, so I would also buy a lot of new products. There were a lot of American products that you could buy off the shelf, and I would
Try.
start practicing polishing it at home as well, just to refine what I learned.
Yeah.
And I think the interest sort of grew exponentially from there as well. I started doing that to some friends' cars, own family cars, and yeah. So that was my interest in the detailing side of things. How did I start the business? So I when I came back after I graduated, I did quite well, and oddly. Yeah, I didn't come back with an accounting degree. It was in business development. I was in a completely different. I was in marketing.
Okay.
Yeah, and I actually applied to work at Standard Chartered. So,
Wow.
Yeah. So it was like okay, it was an eye opener for me, and I went to the marketing department for credit cards and personal loans. I had a good boss and also very good superiors from there, and again, it was an eye opener into what the corporate life would be, but it was something that I perhaps didn't really enjoy as much.
That is such a nice way to say. That's such a nice way to say it.
Well, I would have actually literally have colleagues there, and you know, bless them. They some of them are still in the business there. They're heads of departments in Standard Chartered, and some have moved on to other banks, and they would be really working hard. And you see them at 9 o'clock, 9:30, 9:45, 10 o'clock, and you know they go out for dinner, and then they go back to work.
Yeah.
And for me, it wasn't really what I was looking for after a while.
How long were you there?
I was only there for about a year.
Okay.
A year thereabouts. And then my dad said, hey, you know, is there something else you'd like to try? So I said, I don't know. I didn't really have a plan. Actually, I'm not one of those that had that forward thinking ability and you know, you plan that out 10 years, sort of in a spur at the moment sort of thing. And I said, well, I guess I'm good with my hands and I can work on cars. So maybe we try that. I said, okay, all right. I've got some savings. Let's renovate a place up. So we found a place. It was in the basement of Glad Tidings Church. So we started in Holy Grounds. Yeah. And we converted what was a bit of a warehouse space and we had it built up. And we started with our first cars then. This was about 20 years ago. Wow. Yeah. We did quite well the first year. We started with regular cars, daily cars. I think by the end of the year, we had our first Ferrari coming in.
Wow, that's crazy, man.
Yes.
After a year.
Yeah. Yes.
And I'm assuming in your first year, you had a lot of like locals, a lot of the church members who like found out about your business. And then
well,
bring
we
the
had
car.
some church members who would bring the cars over, but they were for like basic stuff like washes. So those are not margin makers. Those are stuff that you do just to sort of fill in certain time gaps and slots, right? The ones that we wanted to do more was the detailing side of things. So we focused on that. And what we found interesting was our business till today is very much focused and centered on word of mouth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Best.
You don't send or you don't like very much like, you know, when you go to a restaurant, there's so many restaurants, there's so many food bloggers that will tell you, right?
Yeah.
There are specific websites that promote that, the videos that come out
paid
every week,
for.
right? They're all paid for, right? And you know that. But of course, it's interesting content. But the one that you would go is the one that said, you know, you have to try this.
And your friend
yakitori.
tells you,
and that is the best, and you try these, and you have that trust. So I realized very early on that the trust is something that would actually grow exponentially with customers. So they started introducing their friends, their neighbors, their colleagues, and the business started growing from them. So till today, I think over 70% of the business is still very much by word of mouth. Wow. Yeah.
70%.
Over 70%.
Wow,
yeah.
that's huge.
Because the recurring businesses with these cars that we do a lot of very special cars. I think before they even would consider sending anywhere, they need to know who are the people that's taking care of the car.
Yeah.
It's not the ad or whatever they see on socials that matters as much. They have the understanding, but it's okay, so you know this guy, right? He's okay, he's legit.
Yeah.
And that's how they recommend their friends.
Someone else is putting their name on the line.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's skin in the game.
There's skin in the game, and there's always pressure. Just like when my friends say, "Hey, I want to send my car over there," I'm like, oh, "Okay, great." Oh, now I got extra pressure. Because
you have to live up to that, right?
Yes, you want to. I think for all of us, the idea is you want to try and exceed expectations. Not just meet it, but exceed it. And with friends, there's that extra pressure because you know them.
Because it's friends. man.
It's friends as well, right?
But the real question is, right, have you ever messed up any of your friends' car before?
No.
Bro, but Darren, right? is a whole new level of OCD, you know.
I'm OCD.
OCD
Yeah.
is
No,
good.
no. He's like his level, right?
Yeah.
He's a
What?
new level, bro.
OCCDD.
I don't know whether I'm allowed to disclose a specific car that I saw. He told me they had 14 coats of paint on it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of layering, man.
Yes.
14 coats.
Yeah.
To be fair, right, I'm not biased or anything. I just went and like, actually, I like the car, but I don't like the color. He's like, oh,
Yes.
is it?
Yeah.
Took 14 coats. Like, oh shit.
Wait, what is it? The coloring was like what, matte type of color?
it was-
or
Okay,
what?
so
14
I'm
coat is a lot of coatings, bro.
part of my interest again. I like to geek out with stuff. Right? Is well, since I detail cars, I took up a course and I was certified as a painter as well. So I've tested painting and I quite like it, and that helps me to understand the whole process, to understand how cars are done and how we can care for specific types of paints as well. So back to the original question. What was unique about this paint was the client wanted something very special, and this is a one of one color in Southeast Asia. It's Verde Artemis, and essentially
It's a type of blue.
It's
It's a type of blue.
it's the blue that you would see in a lagoon where that blue turns to green to blue again.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like
It's
in the
very
water.
specific.
Like
Are you allowed to say the model of the car?
Yeah, it's a Lamborghini.
I don't know lah, bro. Client and all this is a sensitive thing.
yes, yes.
So if I see a color, I'm like, it's been done by Darren.
I think if you saw this car, you know it's done by Darren. Confirm, bro.
I'm not sure I'm cultured enough to identify that specific lagoon of blue.
I think
to
if
be
you saw
honest.
it,
Okay,
if you saw
so
a Lambo in that blue, you will know.
Okay.
okay,
know.
so if I were to give you an idea, when you look into the sea, or you know, the nice sea, not the
It's
Park
like the
Lang
stuff.
brown,
Park
yeah,
Lang, okay, okay.
yeah. You sort of see blues, and then the blue gradates to a green, a slight
Yes,
green, almost
yes.
like a jade green, and then goes
Like
back
a-
to blue.
right.
So this color is that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when you look at the paint, I was telling John, do you know that the base color is actually silver?
Oh.
Wow.
So you have to add a lot of layering so that color changes from
So
sunlight and everything.
the
is it?
clear coat is tinted with a specific pearlescent paint effect, and you layer it 13
Until-
layers on top of the silver,
And you get the color.
and that's how you achieve the color. There's no touch-up paint available, and if you mess up a door, you paint
Paint
pretty
again,
much half or the entire car. Yeah,
How did you know that that's how you get that shade of blue?
because when you place the order, okay, so typically for a lot of our clients, they look for factory finishes. So we've got options where we can mix the color, but most of our clients want them from factory. So we'll actually order them directly from the manufacturer. Yeah, so
okay.
they do come with very specific instructions on how these are done.
I see.
Yeah, in fact, for some of these, you will actually need to undergo training as well.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Per brand lah, like that.
It's literally per brand. Like for example, if you were working on McLaren paints, the Axel Nobel paint that they have has specific methods of flash off points, how you spray them, how it's mixed as well. So they're all very specific, because you could use a glycerate paint for Ferrari, which was what was previously done. Now it's PPG. So they are essentially for you. If you're looking at it from a layperson, they are Rosso Corsa, which is the famous standard red for Ferraris,
it's
right?
just red, you know.
But the shades have
changes.
different differentiations from manufacturer to manufacturer. How they machine the flakes of paint, the pigments, that's going to make a difference as well. So how they layer their clear coats also, there's a difference in how the flash off point, because it needs to semi-cure before a second layer, or whether it's a
You have to
complete
wait
wet on
for
wet.
it to dry
Yes,
to get that
correct.
second coat
Yes,
on.
yeah,
yeah,
and
got
not
it.
completely dry. There's a flash of time. Yes, so paint needs to be done wet on wet. But with some of these paints, you need to sort of let it almost sort of gel up and cure a little bit before you go on to the next layer.
My
So there are specific instructions on how these are done.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
A lot of work. Lah.
That's a timing
It
thing
is.
as well.
It's a timing thing, and we had the R&D for about a month and a half before we could get started on the car. We finished the car in 6 months just for the paint alone.
Couldn't drive his car for 6 months.
No, he hasn't driven a car yet. Yeah.
Oh, it's still in the
Yeah, we're working on the car for about, there's a lot of things going on in the car. So I think we've had the car working on for, I think the last 2 years. Yeah, we've got cars going 3 to 4
Bro, you are
years. as well.
making a new car.
That's the same as your green color.
Yes, the GTR, the R34. Yeah, that's over 3 years already.
Every time you go there, it's like I saw on Speed Hunters
Yes,
as well,
yeah,
right?
you still say
The guy was like, "Wow, look at this! This is yours."
Yeah.
Then after I look at the video, right, it's like a few months ago. I'm like, "Oh yeah, he's right. It's been a while."
a few years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
That's very, very niche knowledge, actually.
It is very niche, and I think in a sense, I'm thankful that it's niche enough that nobody wants to do it.
I can imagine the
It
barriers
is.
to entry to be extremely high.
Okay, so if I were to describe this, it's like your channel wanting to your main. I think your main advantage here is your strength is in podcast, in having conversations. But what if you were to do music as well, and do maybe a different type of level of production? It could be many things, but they are all actually different disciplines. Just like a photographer, right? He says he shoots portraiture, and then there's a wedding photographer or a commercial photographer or a automotive photographer. They're so different one from another. You cannot call them the same.
Yep.
Like you say, a chef's a chef. They can cook everything. No, they cannot.
can't. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not the
a
same.
Chinese chef has a different style of cooking, right? And then you've got the French style, right? And then you've got the street style, which I would never ever say that it is below what a cuisines or a high-end chef will know, because there are intricate knowledges about when we have conversations with them, they'll tell you why a chicken is kept in a certain temperature, like the white chicken that I like to have in KL, right? Once they have it cooked, they actually put it back into water to keep the meat moist and tender, and then they hang it back up. Or like the satay place that I go, they have this Indonesian inspired style where as they're cooking, it goes back into a dip so that it draws the flavor.
Oh, that's a tare.
And then it goes
Japan
back
style,
almost
bro.
like a tare, but the tare isn't enough to completely change the flavor, but
Yeah.
it's enough to moisturize the meat as well. So it's the science behind things. That's
It's a very
interesting, yeah.
Japanese thing.
Very interesting.
It's a very Japanese thing because you go Japanese food, they will have like tempura in the same place where they have ramen.
Yes.
It's just like this is not really. It is
Yes.
Japanese food,
Yes.
but it's not focused.
Yes.
Far from focus.
It's far from
all over
yes.
the place. Yeah.
But I feel like the difficulty in doing this auto detailing business, right, is finding people, right, that are as OCD as you and also are capable of doing such things, right? Because
I think I'm at this point. I need to really say I really have a great team. I'm very blessed to have people that we've met along the way, and they're very passionate about their work. And it's hard to find. We've got young ones, we've got the older ones as well. We've got a whole mix. But I think that's the criteria during our interviews when we have them. The first thing that usually we will sit down, and the first one feature that we look for them is how motivated are you? Because we don't take in technicians that are from competitors or someone who's been in an industry in a specific way, because we find that most of the time we prefer to bring someone who comes in at ground zero. Then we train you and we've got a full program. We onboard you with the culture, the understanding, and the methodology so that you understand what you do, rather than you just do what you do but have no understanding of what it is.
Correct.
Right? Like a lot of places, when you start a detailing place, I'll break this into a slightly different topic later. But as you understand more about detailing, a lot of places when they open up, they would have the supplier that carries brand X, for example. I say, you want to open up your business? Okay, so Andrew, you come into this and you're going to place an order. We're going to train you. We're going to send someone here. It's going to train you for 4 weeks, and then you can start detailing. Yeah. I would not trust somebody that's worked 4 weeks on my car, because it's a very compacted line. Yeah, you can. It's relatively safe because machines are now DA machines, dual orbital. They are not the rotaries that we use. So most of our guys, they are trained in the more traditional aspects of polishing. We use actual rotaries, which are almost like cutters, right? But we put the pads, and the friction burns up very quickly if you don't have an understanding. With the new ones, you could put it to a rookie, and he can start working on a car,
work on it.
but the finish will be subpar again because you don't understand the concept behind it. So when they start on the cars, they only get better after many cars, and every car is different. A car that you have for the last 5 years is different from the car that just came out from the showroom as well. Or it could be a car that someone's had for 10 years, but they take the utmost care.
That's true.
Could be a 1-year car that's a banger, and they've repainted multiple times, and then it becomes an issue.
Yeah.
So I always teach our people when we start with any job to understand the information, the data that you have helps you to understand better on what's needed. So we never have a cookie cutter like, oh, how much to do a car? We don't know. You
need
come
to-
in, bring the car in, we'll have a conversation, we'll check the car, and then from there we'll match what we need to do, because straight away our guys, so we're sort of like, in a sense, almost bad news people. Someone would come, oh, I've got my new car. And like, can we get some things? Like, sure, come over for an assessment first. No, but it's new. Let's just get it done. No, we need to check first.
Yep.
And when we check, say, looks like your car has had a panel repainted because the machines picked that up. And I didn't know, the car is brand new. Yeah, but they might have
It is what it is,
it had a scratch and they had to repaint a certain section. So I think disclosing and having a transparency helps people to understand what it is we do, because I cannot be doing a car up and it has issues and I mask the issues and not tell you about
That's
it.
right.
I'd rather give it up front to you for the information, then you decide what you want to do.
Understand.
Right. So with our method of onboarding, we will take certain training to the extreme. Like, for example, one of my beliefs is if you don't burn paint, you'll never know how not to burn paint.
If you don't burn,
Is this like a Chinese saying?
So you have to burn it.
no.
Sounds
Yeah.
almost Confucius
May
like.
you burn pain, me you pain.
So when you work at say a detailing place, a car polish place, right? They'll start you in, okay, you use this compound and they use the pads. Never mind the way they mix and the methodology, right? Which is quite different from how we do it. You would polish, but you would actually have no idea. That's a customer's car there, right? He's paying for it, right? How far do you push?
Ayo,
Yeah, man.
scared lah.
I mean, with
you know,
supervision also, at some point, the guy could make a mistake, right?
they mostly make mistakes.
Yeah.
We fix a lot of issues. Cars come to us after it's been sent to places and they're like, hey, I've noticed this. Why is it white on the side of my black car? And we look at, that's the corner's actually burnt already.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, and that's only the tip of the iceberg. If they burnt your corner, once you start doing the paint reading, they would have worn off a good 30-40% of your clear coat already by this point.
Right.
The clear coat is the car's actual color, right?
Yeah.
No, the clear coat is
the
the
cover
clear,
on top.
the lacquer. We call it lacquer in Malaysia.
Just to
right?
cover the
Okay,
color.
okay,
lah,
okay.
The
top.
clear one, whether it's a high gloss or it's a matte finish.
Alright.
So that's what seals off. So the color is what we call the base coat.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah.
It's the same coat as the one that you showed me that time when they did the logo, and then around the logo there's a space because they don't do that part one, is it?
That is paint protection film. So that's a slightly different product. So paint protection film is a clear film, a thick film, usually about 200 microns and above, that you wrap over a car to stop it from having scratches and stone chips.
That's PPF, lah, right?
Yeah, that's PPF, correct. Yeah.
I
So
need that so much.
yeah.
Yeah. But he was saying, because he showed me a few cars, and then if you look at it very closely, I mean, not very closely, I mean, if you're
Yeah,
an
yeah,
art for
yeah,
detailing,
yeah.
if you really look at the crest of the car, like let's say it's a Ferrari and it's a horse,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You can see the outline of the horse one.
Yeah.
Because the guy didn't touch the logo, he didn't remove the logo to do everything.
Yeah.
He just did it around.
Right.
So
Is that good or bad?
It's bad.
bad
when
news,
you
huh?
can see it and you can see the gappings, then it becomes an issue because dirt traps.
Peel, yeah, and it
Anytime.
peels off a bit
Oh,
also.
GG. Like,
Yes, yeah.
I wouldn't want that in my horse, man.
So I think if you had a horse, you'd want it to be as seamless as possible, no exposed edges. That keeps better longer. But this sort of work is very unique. So again, I'm very blessed to have a very good team, and we've got very good partners around the world. So we were trained a lot by a friend of ours as well in California, and we are. Because of the training that they've shared, and he's come down, he's flown down from the US, a very dear friend, and he's trained all our team members, and we've become pretty good at what we do. Although I must say he's still at another level.
What's his name, bro?
His name's Wilson.
Wilson.
Yeah,
Wilson.
from Premier Protective Films.
Can you just Google it? Wilson Premier Protective Films.
Yeah.
See you soon, Wilson.
Yes. Yeah.
So is he the person who trained your team and built the foundation of
So
knowledge?
we started off learning about PPF again out of interest and from the ground up. So we worked on many different types of film, and we came upon a particular brand called ClearGuard, and this was from Prestige Film Technologies in the US. Yeah, and we spoke to them, and they flew down. They had the head of department
okay.
come and meet us, and we sat down and we had a chat, and they sort of, I think, they understood what we believe. We're not pushing numbers. We're not about volume, and they want the best installers possible around the world working on their products. So there's an exclusivity to this, and because of that introduction, we were somehow introduced over to Wilson as well for
I see.
conversations, and we got along very well. And he is such a dear friend. He's flown down from the States over, and he says, hey, let's have your guys let me understand how
through
your
the-
guys were working, and let's see how to tackle, because the film that was developed had a lot of input from him, and we call him Yoda, Master Yoda.
Master
Yeah,
Yoda.
because
Sifu,
he can manipulate matter and material, right? And bless him, he is fantastic with his work, and him and his team does some of the best work around the world. The Paganis, the Bugattis, they all go to him. Yeah, and they're usually booked out 6 months to a year. Yeah, so to get him to do the work on a car, but he is also at the same time the most humble person. He'll be perfect for the podcast, really.
Wow.
He's
See
so
you soon,
regular, you know. You need to fly him in from California, or you guys head
I
over
might
to
not see
California.
you soon, Wilson.
Wait, can you pull up and see
If
how
he
it
flies
looks like?
economy, I can pay lah, but business at first a bit hard lah. Sorry.
He looks like us.
Where's Wilson?
That's him.
Oh, down
That's
there.
him. Down there.
Scroll.
Yeah,
Oh, on the
that's him.
right.
Yeah.
Bro, he look like he from Ipoh or something, bro.
You can search on YouTube. You'll see all his new videos. Yeah, that's something.
Oh, is he on YouTube as well?
Yeah. He started working on his own, and then this guy is so talented. He shoots his own videos, edits them, and still runs the whole business.
Darren, I just gotta say, right?
Yeah.
I feel like you yourself are extremely talented. I just want to point that out, like, okay, you know, right? A lot of times, especially when I was growing up, I felt like in Malaysia you will never be noticed internationally. But if you have a talent, right, to that point, where people overseas also notice your talent, I'm just saying, lah, okay, you also are in your own realm, you know.
Well, I think I try to be good at what I do. I think there's still a lot of room for improvement. And my philosophy in life is you can never stop learning, because the moment you stop, you just get
Yeah, I know.
Worse.
But it's like sometimes people say that,
yeah.
but practicing it is
Oh.
so difficult.
So we do it at our place. So that's why PNC. This is why-
Kaizen, right?
It's our version of Kaizen before we heard Kaizen. So we will sit down with a huddle and okay, all right, what's the most complicated thing we did last year? All right, let's make it more complicated.
Oh my lord, lah.
So our processes, right, every year becomes more and more tedious. And we're like, oh, this is tough catching up, right? And right now, I think we're a team of almost 30 people.
Wow.
And all Malaysians. Yeah, I'm
Support
particularly
local.
proud of that because I believe in local talent, and I'm also very proud to have the opportunity to be able to build up a team of such people. Yeah, and they're actually the heart of the business.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
man. Absolutely. I also want to point out there was I'm so sorry, I forgot his name. You hired him because you saw him arranging Hot Wheels.
Yes, that's Kenji.
Kenji, sorry.
Yeah.
Kenji. I had lunch with him, was like,
Yes,
his name.
yes.
But Kenji was doing Hot Wheels and he was like,
I
I
like
feel
him.
like this guy got talent, bro. And that's how he hired him, you know. And Kenji is now he's like basically Darren too, but he's OCD also, you know.
He's the operations
Hot
manager.
Wheels
for Arthur.
is the shit.
It is.
Sorry,
it is.
he's arranging Hot Wheels where in his room.
So
or
no,
toy shop?
no, I wouldn't be in someone's room.
Valid point. Valid point.
So he started off working part time in Toys R Us, and I would go there quite often. It's near my apartment, and then I'll pick up all the latest. Every week I'll go there a few times a week. It's my after work ritual. I'll walk over to what is now Tri Damansara. I'll go up to the Toys R Us and see what's the new Hot Wheels, or what's nice for my kids. I've got a couple of kids, right? So I'll pick them up, and I notice him a few times, and I know he's sharp and he's good at what he does. But I observed how the manager there was treating him as well, and I thought, hey, I think we can do better. So I snuck in my card and not sounding weird or anything. He said, "Why don't you come over
To my underground.
to my underground?"
Right.
Yeah.
Not to sound weird, but I think our mom has done it several times.
Has she?
In the most non-weird way
It's the
possible.
more weird.
To like waiters.
It's hard. You can't say that. You say that, it gets weird,
Yeah,
right?
but when you see it, it's not
Yes,
that bad.
correct. So and then he popped up one day, and I said, come let's see what you do, and I showed him, and he loves cars, and he's like, okay, this is what I want to do, and he's been with us for so many years, and he's very talented. But I think beyond what he's capable of doing, it's been nice to watch him grow up from a young boy to where he is now managing a whole section of the business, and the people that he trains as well. He also handles the interviews because he's been on both sides of the the fence as well. But I think what I find most appealing about him is his passion and his heart. There is an integrity to it. There's a belief in the business, and we're not talking about a business where we're just here to make money. No, it's a business about how to to do our best to be able to exceed customer expectations, to be able to solve problems. You see what's on our socials, you see all the cool stuff that we do, right? And everyone sees that. But what you don't see is what we have to do and what we
Yeah.
have to slog through on a daily basis.
Yeah.
You know, you have to do firefighting. You have to find solutions to issues when certain things are not available. How do you come up with
Yeah.
alternatives, you know, to solve it? And
it's day to day.
It's not even day to day. It's literally by the minute.
Yeah, it's true.
Right.
It's true. With
Literally.
multiple cars, with
Yes,
multiple things that are
correct.
happening as well, right?
And again, back to the topic of why this is not a business that everyone can do, is because we're not a specialist, say, in a particular field. I have friends who are in the business and they would say work on air-cooled Porsches, and that's their specialty, and they just work on that. And when you get good at those specific models, right, you can focus on that, and you get a stream of business that just takes care of that
The Porsche.
particular type of cars and that model from that period. But for us, this week could be a different type of Porsche. It could be a mix of a different Ferrari or a Lambo or a Jaguar.
Even a Honda.
Or even a Honda, and you've got to then break down especially when it comes to restoration, right? It's a whole different ball game.
Right.
There's no manuals that you can
Cannot-
find available.
Cannot cookie cutter.
No, there's no cookie cutter. So you
Confirm.
have to find different methods of getting blueprints and diagrams. And we have a team that does that just specifically. And you have to study and see how to disassemble certain parts, what's available. We worked, for example, like the CLK DTM. That's one of the rare cars. We did this a couple of years ago.
Isn't it a Mercedes car?
It's a Mercedes, it's an AMG, but the DTM is a very special car. It's worth millions. Yeah, it's a very rare one.
CLK.
Yes, and this is a wide body version. So when we were procuring parts as well, we were trying to look for specific parts, and we contacted Germany, and these weren't available. They're only available to a very select number of dealers that have been trained and have
Wow.
access to it. So we had to work in tandem with them to
You to
be able to
procure
get
from them.
Yes,
Wow.
yeah.
The person.
Because you cannot even type in a code to a say Mercedes-Benz's parts database.
Yeah.
Even the local stockists are not able to access it. There is no such part available.
I see.
You need to find the person
Yes.
that has been dealing with
Yes.
the brand to
Correct.
get that part.
Correct.
It's insane, man.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes with a lot of the cars, we've got cars that we've been working on like almost 4 years till now. We've had cars.
Including yours also, lah, right?
Yes, including ours. Our projects, there's a different explanation for that because, like I said, our own personal project cars, right? They take a second stage, compared to all the clients' cars. So any car that comes in, our project cars just gets further back until there's some free time, and then we work on them. But yeah, so the challenges is with every specific car, even year to year, wiring changes, for example, right? Or what it looks like a facelifted car. The bumper changes, but the brackets also change as well. Sometimes the lights change. The modules that control the lights change. Nobody tells you all these things. You have to research. You have to talk to people. You have to find out all this information. And it's not like you can order the parts directly because nobody's going to give you these parts. So we have a whole network of suppliers, and we have people that work with them. And we look into procuring and to try to crack the Rubik's Cube, so to speak.
Right.
And this, I feel, only comes with time, right? Like
It comes with time.
you gotta like be so deep, and you have to be like an established player, right, for so long in order to have this kind of network.
I want to try and go on record and say it gets better as you
Oh,
are
definitely.
longer, but
Yeah.
it's
Oh, it doesn't.
I mean,
Because cars also new models every time and all that
every
also,
model.
right? Actually,
Yes,
it's true.
Correct.
it's a never-ending process, lah. This year I must learn new things.
Yes.
Next year I must learn new
Yes,
things.
correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Oh my lord!
And
So-
there was a conversation I remember we were having with yourself, Charles, and me, and you were saying there was this Honda. It was a Type R, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken, right?
Yeah.
Is it the new Type R?
No, it's
is
the
it
old
the
one.
It's the old
2006
one.
FD2R.
FD?
FD2R. Yes.
And it's
You know
first
how much is
owner,
that
bro.
car, ah?
It's first owner, bro. It's
Wow.
not. Yeah. And
FD
then
Euro.
No, it's a Japanese spec one.
yeah. When he opened the cover, right, I felt like, oh, okay, but the condition. He was
Look
like,
at
no,
this man.
it's not. Then when you look really closely, it's actually the body is all
Yes.
like stuck to the.
Yeah.
You know when you put the what's that
Yes,
called, the wrapping
the
around the
cover,
car?
yes.
He left it on for the
Yeah,
whole time, bro.
yeah.
Since I don't know what year until now.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So,
So it's stick to the car.
Is the car still in your garage?
it is still.
Can I come and see it?
Yeah,
I'm
you
a
can.
big fan of Honda.
Okay.
I love their FD cars.
Okay.
For the
I
Civic.
think if you
Is
went
this when
there,
the Honda logo comes out? I'm gonna pitch him a car.
we wish
Sponsored deal.
lah, bro, we wish lah. But
I know, my dream car is a 206 Civic FD.
Okay.
You know, the one with the circle lights?
Yes.
That is... Mwah.
I think if you went to Darren's shop, you would.
I
Bro,
would
you
not
know
come back,
Darren's shop, right, has people, right, from the outside record video in one, you know.
Oh, they want the record cannot, so they are recording from outside.
Oh.
Wow.
It's like kind of like you see a Hollywood star but cars. So you're like, oi, look at that car lah. Oh my god lah.
So when I walk in, I'm like, hi, I boleh masuk, you tak boleh masuk.
There are some people, and I won't say which model, obviously, right? That is so unique, right? That people will go there daily,
We've
to
been
snap
stopped.
clips,
Yeah.
to create a TikTok, to show that
Yes,
I
bro.
guarantee that this is a car, right, that has been there, and no one wants to show what the model it is.
The,
and all.
the good part is you can put some context to it now. The car was featured at the recent Ferrari owners gathering. It was the largest Ferrari gathering in Malaysia. We had 297 Ferraris.
It's insane.
It was brought out as the first time was unveiled to the public.
I'll send the link to Nick so he can put it up as
Yeah,
well. But
yeah.
please continue, please
Yes,
continue.
yeah. So it's the LaFerrari Aperta. It's
Yeah.
owned by a client of ours, and we've been working on it for actually a couple of months, but we've kept it under wraps. And it's sometimes hard to keep it under wraps because you're so excited about it.
Yeah.
But the moment it arrived, we were stocked on a daily basis, multiple times a day by car
Jesus.
spotters. I'm not kidding you. Yeah, they would go through the auto gates, and then they'll put the cameras in there, and then they'll be shooting scenes of where our guys are covering the car or moving it around, and they'd wait there for hours. And this went on for weeks. So I told my guys, this is the safest time of the year we've ever had at
Because
Alta Detailing because
no one's gonna rob you.
no one's gonna rob me.
Free
There's-
security.
there's all these car spotters, and you know, bless them as well. They really love their interest. You know, yeah. So that's
Check
that.
it.
Yeah, you can click on some of the links and
Click on the photos,
yeah,
then you can
photos.
open up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
check it. Look
yeah.
at that. That's crazy.
Wow, this looks
That's a lot of
awesome.
Ferrari, man.
yeah, it's a
No,
lot
no,
of
you should see
Ferrari.
the aerial shot, bro.
Yeah,
The aerial shot, bro.
yeah.
Look at that.
And that's not all.
Is
There's
it a
some-
hidden meaning? Is there any
No, it's just
name?
color
Or just
coded, bro.
color
No, so
coded?
this one was a bit of a tongue-in-cheek joke that we had. So you know, Ferraris are generally red, right? So you can see it's a good 70% of them red.
Yeah.
Then there's yellows, right?
Yeah.
Then
There's
we
black.
had a few cars at the back there. That belongs to our clients. We've got cars from the reds, yellows, and blacks. And I made fun of them and said, "You look like the DLL." So what's DLL?
Done line.
Done line line.
I thought the other is like don't do lucky or something, you know?
That's DDLY, bro.
Oh, sorry.
But is the okay? I think for context as well, because
Oh, this Enzo, nice car, man. This
This is the LaFerrari
Enzo, man?
Aperta. This is the one that came after. This is the successor to it.
After
Yes, yeah, this is the car.
so for context, right? That car that was in the garage.
Yeah.
Maybe you can elaborate on the significance of that because it's an anniversary car. How many of
Yes.
them are there in the world?
That's DJ Soda. And I know you're looking at her. Yeah.
what? Bro, I'm looking at the car, bro. Not soda, bro. I can just go Instagram right now and have a look at
For context, bro.
Okay.
What's so special about
So
that? unique car?
they're about, if I'm not mistaken, they're about 400 units of the Aperta, the LaFerrari. Aperta is their open top version.
Okay.
And the one that we had is a very unique version. I'll spare the more minute details of it, but essentially it's a 70th anniversary edition, and only 9 units were made worldwide,
That's how you make money, man.
and one of them is in Malaysia. So it's such an honor to be able to work on the car, to actually see it in person, to do what we do, and have that chance. I always thank the owner. I said it's a fantastic opportunity.
Yeah, yeah.
I never knew
yeah.
Epita was the successor of Enzo,
Yes, yes.
It must be
They
very.
love Ferrari.
It must be very validating to your
Shop.
perfectionist mentality, your love for the industry, your love for what you do, to be able to work on something one of 9 in the world.
For us, I think receiving it, seeing the car there, you go home really, really happy.
Yeah,
it's
I
it's
can
like,
imagine,
it's
I can
like that, you know, ding moment, right?
Imagine looking at your phone, your wife like, what? Seeing girls in, no lah, seeing cars.
So every time we get the cars in, there's also a certain excitement inside. So all our team members, when the car's being unloaded, and that came in an enclosed flatbed, right? You can see the excitement. Every one of our guys, you know, and they take photos and stuff. But we have a strict rule: we don't share on socials until it's publicly available to be done. So we had it for months, and we've worked on the car, and it's such an amazing car to begin with. It's so technologically advanced, and also it's so rare, and to have it there. So we worked on cars like these, and yes, it's a blessing, I would say, to see that. It's an encouragement because most times we try and do things that are perhaps not so predictable or ordinary. I would say I don't really run a business as well as an Asian should. This is a very almost like an Angmo concept, right? It's like you do it out of passion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I started Auto Detailer, that was about 20 years back, I didn't have a business plan at all.
The plan is to
Right,
do
right.
it.
Just do it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Do it
literally
well.
just do it. And but in retrospect, that's probably the worst thing to do. It took me years to realize that that's the worst step you could do when you had no projections, you had no numbers, you were on a whim because you thought you could do it. And I always tell people, don't do stuff like that anymore.
Right.
Try and have an idea what you can do your market research. That's the more mature version of me. But
course.
back then it was like, I believe I can do it and I'll do it, you know.
Yeah.
And then I think, thank God, I really appreciate that we've gone through the ups and downs and challenges of the business, and somehow we've been very blessed to meet people, to be given opportunities, and some of our little things that we're very proud of is also to be able to put Malaysia on the map. Yeah.
It's crazy.
So maybe I can touch on.
Bro.
Yeah.
I just want to sidetrack a little bit. Okay, so my friend Justin is a big car fanatic. All right? And there's this Japanese guy. Okay, I forgot what's his name, but people are gonna kill me in the comment section.
Don't
now,
always
okay?
forget names.
No, bro. I'm not a car person. You have to understand, but I like the story of it, right? So this Japanese dude, right? He only specifically does Porsche,
Okay.
modded Porsche only, bro.
All right.
You give him any other car, he's like, I don't give a fuck lah, right? And this guy, right, is so unique, right? Because, right, he takes orders, he does one Porsche at a time only, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And his workshop is in Japan. But this guy has a museum in Johor, bro. It's crazy. What's his name, bro? What's his
Okay, so this particular guy, he's a tuner. He's called Akira Nakai.
Akira
So
Nakai.
we call him Nakai-san. In fact, in June, he's coming to Malaysia. After
you.
a much long-awaited period of time, I'll extend an invite to you.
Wow,
There's going to be a
bro.
build. Yeah.
The June is this month, bro.
It's this
can
month.
he come here too?
No
Can he
lah,
come?
bro.
No.
I think this guy, I think if
my
you
luck.
saw him, right, this guy...
He's too cool to go anywhere else.
He's too cool, bro.
Yeah, if you watch him, he'll have his Marlboros.
He'll smoke everywhere.
Chain smoking, and you'll see him literally cut across the body panels of a 911.
Yeah.
That's a valuable one. And
Akira
yeah,
Nakai, just
yes,
Google that, bro.
yeah.
9/11 is,
Bro. Look,
always been a
he just cuts shit up, bro. But he's damn cool, bro.
And he's accurate too. So he's as Japanese as you can get.
Mm.
So he can freehand cut entire fenders off a car. And you're literally cutting into sheet metal, right?
What?
By hand. By hand. He uses a machine, he just cuts them through.
Wow, his precision must be so good. He can be a doctor or a surgeon.
Yes. If you understood how Germans work, right, they would have already a
Measurement
particular
tools.
yes, they would have a jig, they would everything. He's so good at this that
Right.
yeah, he'll hand cut them. So he's in Malaysia this month, and he'll be building 6 cars back to back. It's about average 2 cars, 2 days per car.
That's crazy.
Yeah, if you like to come watch a guy who's chain smoking his
I
Marlboros,
would kill, bro.
I'll send out the invite. I'll have you guys come
Kill,
over.
bro.
Yes.
He's gonna be in Johor, is it, to do it?
No. So Johor, the museum in Johor was actually built by a friend of his, Christian Kujin, and along with his wife Kit. So they set up this museum to have all his collectibles. So like you've seen his shoes,
His cigarette packets.
yes, cigarette packets and all that. Yeah.
Bro,
So,
he signs his cigarette packets, bro.
so we were also very honored to be invited to the opening back then. We had a lot of friends. We had Dino from Speed Hunters. We had
Yeah, bro,
Fiuda.
that's crazy.
Yeah, and he's my makan buddy. Every time he comes down to Malaysia, we eat. I take him on he's a speed hunter. I'm the food hunter. Right? So, you bring an Italian and a Malaysian. It's like the worst combination when diet is gone out, calories overload. Yeah. So
I don't know, man. I feel like when you get good company, is an excuse, lah, bro.
It
Fuck
is.
it, man.
It
That's
is.
crazy,
It
dude.
is. It
I
is.
feel.
Yeah.
So I feel. Oh, wait, you're saying?
Oh, nothing. You want to continue from this? Is it?
No, I just want to say, you put Malaysia on the map, bro. You know, like when you talk about how there are great people out there and everything, dude. You already deliver so much for this country, mate. That's crazy, you great.
I think well, I don't know if I'm qualified to be called that, but I think what we're proud of is to be able to make a footprint in our particular industry. So I'll maybe dive into that a little bit. For example, we've worked with many manufacturers. We've worked with Maguire's. We've done R&D, worked with them. They've sent products for us to test and sample.
Yeah.
We've worked with companies like Merca. They develop abrasives. So we've tested. We've got our own lab testing methods. We tested on new car paint, old car paints, different types of refinishes, and we're able to draw conclusions and recommendations for them, and to see those products now in every production plant that builds Mercedes-Benzes. For me, it's a little bit of a proud moment that we were part of it. It's a little place that's under the basement in a mall.
Dude, you say that, right? But his basement looks legit as shit, lah. Okay, he says that, but when you go there, right, I just imagine, when I left that, right, I was walking back with Charles. I was like, bro, can you imagine, right, if you own this garage? He's like, bro, you know how many people dream to own a garage like this underground garage, okay? Because people can jaga their car and all that, right? They are like actually quite Batman, bro. You walk there in the middle, like turn on,
It's
and then all the
super
lights,
Bruce Wayne, dude. I saw photos from him. It looks so Bruce Wayne.
and then the lights, tum, 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 tum.
Right now, we've got a much larger team from before. So back then, in the early days, I used to have an area where the cars are parked. So I would have my preferred cars, the coolest, the latest cars. Once they're finished, they get moved to the front. And I have a desk about this size. And right in front of my desk would be the car.
Yeah, he showed me.
Yeah. We'll have the Lexus LFA, all the special rare Ferraris, and they're parked there. They're just being finished, but it's like, you look up from your computer doing what you're like, I don't own one, but it's a
nice
pride to
to see
see
it.
one.
Yeah.
But it's
Quite a view.
legit though. It's legit though. That's kind of like it's like the future, right? Where your car is next to you, you're doing your work, it's a clean setup.
Yes.
Then all the superb cars are all out there.
Yes.
Then you have your whole garage.
Yes.
So when you say like underground or more, I'm like, bro,
Bro, you must
you
say it.
you downplay it a lot, lah. Okay.
Downplay it so that it looks good when you see it. Two questions for you. First question. What is the most rarest car you have touched up?
Oh my god, lah. Are you allowed to say?
Why not?
Yeah, we can say.
Not the person who owns the car,
Sometimes it's the customer that prefers
Unless
not
you say it's
to
a North
disclose.
Korea jet, then maybe not lah.
We have worked on actually a lot of very rare cars. I think that's the nature of the business.
Ford Shelly car got.
We've worked on those before, but we've also worked on really classic Bugattis,
Wow.
like the EB110. That was the
It's a
first
mission car, bro.
Yeah.
That's the first one, man.
That's the first one. Yes, yeah, and it's small. It's smaller than a Honda Civic.
Wow. Can you Google that real quick?
Yeah,
Bro, that's like
EB110.
yeah,
Bugatti.
EB110. It's a Bugatti.
EB.
Yes, EB. You can see it on the screen. Yeah, we've had cars like that.
How about the Mr. Bean car?
Oh, that one's quite common. We have a
That's quite
couple of
common,
yes, yes, we have one.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's crazy,
The
man.
Bugatti is the rarest.
The other one that
Bugatti
with EB1, yes,
EB1.
that's it. Yeah.
Wow.
Look at that, bro. That's like some.
It's manual. Yeah.
Wow, this is a
eyes
very
are
unique
huge,
looking car.
Yes.
He can.
It looks like an anime character.
Yes.
SO,
Yes.
your petrol station.
Oh my god.
So if you look at the Bugatti Chiron, Chiron right now, you see how different it is in today's design terms.
I like
already.
Bugatti Broward. It's good. Hey, Chiron.
How do you spell Chiron?
Chiron.
That's damn crazy, man. Oh
It
shit,
is.
they have a Hot Wheels version of that
Yes,
too.
I
they
bet
do.
it's in his
Wow.
house.
So that's the new generations of Bugattis. Of course, they got the Devos and all the other models, but yeah. The other
Crazy.
cars that we've worked on are the hypercars. So technically, the LaFerrari is a hypercar,
Yeah.
and because of the collector value, I think that's very likely our most
the rarest.
the rarest that we've had. We've also worked on the Koenigsegg Agera
How do you
before.
even touch Koenigsegg also?
Yeah.
Koenigsegg is like one of the cars, if you watch Need for Speed, it was there.
Yes,
One
yeah.
of the 3 Koenigseggs. It's
Yeah.
very limited.
It's a Swedish hypercar.
Yeah.
What? How do you
This
spell
is
Koenigsegg, bro?
I don't even know how to spell
Okay.
Koenigsegg.
Oh, hey, Darren's thinking.
Why don't you just type Agera?
Agira.
Very rare.
Agera.
Oh.
Agera. S or R. That's fine.
If you see,
Yeah.
if you all watch Need for Speed, the car was there.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Agera. They have an R and
Crazy.
S. Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. So worked on that.
Damn.
Yeah, that's the one we worked on. Yeah.
Is this one of the
Yes.
fastest car in the world?
It is.
Koenigsegg.
Yes. This one is.
Oh, Koenigsegg.
The gold is actual gold. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Oh,
crazy.
not color, it's
The
like,
whole body is actually carbon fiber.
to make it light.
It's light, and also it's a work of art. So when you open up the engine bay, the underside of the carbon tub, you can see it's all beautifully symmetrical. So it's a work of art. Yeah, yeah. Christian built some really amazing cars. Yeah.
Good car lah.
Yes.
Lovely car.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine, right? Like, what's your insurance like for your place?
Don't even get started on that.
100K, you know?
Like-
Wow, this car looks so good lah.
Your road tax must be stupid lah.
I think if you had any of these cars,
can buy the road tax.
It's interesting. So if a lot of these cars, the ones that you want, the V12s and above, or the W16s, they will start from about 6 liters. So personal registered road tax is about 18,000.
18,000.
Yeah, it starts from there. And if you're a company that doubles, if you're public listed, that increases as well.
Right.
So it's quite something to have these cars in Malaysia. There is, of course, naturally, if you want to get into the topic, there's the wealth gap as well.
Of course.
But compared to, say, in the States or in the UK, where road tax isn't such a thing,
Yeah.
right, compared to here, it's quite insane how much we pay for our cars.
It's quite
We do.
carry
We
lah.
do.
Yeah, even right now the trendy thing is number plates as well.
Yeah.
Number plates going upwards to $1 million,
Correct.
just for a special plate. And I've
Yeah.
seen some unique ones. Yeah,
Oh, I
saw it that day also.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
DDB,
yeah.
And then it comes to my second question. What is the car that you're most proud of touching up all this while? That stands out the most in your entire encyclopedia of cars you have done.
What's an exclopedia?
How do you pronounce
It's
that word?
it's sort of like asking you which is your absolute favorite female actress.
Scarlett Johansson.
It keeps changing.
It changes lah.
It
from time to
changes,
time.
and
True
you
lah.
still like the old one, but you like the new one as well, right? So I think with car guys, there's no
There's not always
specific, the way I recall it is by what I've worked with, how we've worked on the car. That's my little moments and my memories. Interesting disclosure, right? I remember people by their car and the number plates. So on my phone book, right? Yeah, you'll see I have named the person, their car plate, and then that helps me remember which is the car.
Okay.
Otherwise, I cannot put. I'm supposed to put the face to the car, but I put the car to the face. The other way around.
You know what's talking about car plate? What's the most unique car plate you have ever seen? Don't say.
No, you can't.
I can't say it.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
That
Yeah,
one is
because
a-
people will know.
It's an identifier though.
The identity lah, I guess lah. Wow, I
The
only,
discretion is something we have to
B4,
maintain.
B1, something like.
Damn, brother.
It's
Sick,
it's a
man.
Malaysian culture, I feel, to
It is.
almost identify themselves with their with car and number plate lah. Right?
It is, to be honest, again, it's not really my thing either. I think it's unique. Like, if you would ask Kenji, he is great at finding combinations of letters and numbers to make up what
my
is
God.
like a car model or a name of a person. And he's great with that. So we've had some special plates that we've procured over time. But for me, if you ask me, it doesn't really... Yeah, I don't really give too much thought about it.
I see.
It's a number plate. As long as it's not sounding weird, I look at it more as symmetry. So the letters have to combine in a way that looks nice.
Okay.
You know,
Strictly aesthetically
Aesthetically
visual.
balanced,
Yeah, okay.
and then that's okay for me. So as what I usually prefer is there's a 3-digit, 3-letter front, a 3-digit rear.
Also,
that
it
would be
balances.
that would be
It's
the best one.
balanced
Yeah.
lah.
So the cars that don't have that, we're looking at number plates in the future that we
Okay,
can balance
okay.
that out. You know? So some cars you procure, it comes with certain plates already.
I
Maybe
see.
that guy's
I
car
see.
plate number is I, big I, and then L, and then 1 1.
Cannot. What? You can do I.
Cannot have I,
Yeah, I looks too close to 1. That's why they don't do I.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no I
yeah.
there's no I number plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there are plates that are around that are not supposed to be on cars at all.
Oh,
It does happen.
There's nothing money can solve in Malaysia.
Okay, I know you talk a lot about your business, but I also see you do a lot of events, and I see that you also have like your own production house.
Yeah.
Right? Like, how did it evolve, right? From doing cars and then into doing content and also to doing events? Because I see you like, bro, right after we met, you were doing a Porsche event.
Yes.
And then the week after that, you're doing a Ferrari event.
yeah.
I'm just like, dude, how do you do this, man? It's so much
still,
work.
I'm still asking that question.
Sacrifice.
What have I come into, right? So, okay, so to put some context into this, how it started was as we worked on the cars, a lot of clients would say, "Could you document the car for me?" And I wasn't a photographer then. I took my dad's old Minolta and I'll take some before after. I know the basics of exposure control, so I did that. And then being Asian, right? I put it up on Flickr and asked people to feedback and see whether the photos are good
look
or
at
not,
this
right?
guy.
Yeah, you always got a one up, right?
Critique yourself some
critique
more.
yourself. Yeah, I always believe that's the best way to improve, right? So, and then I learned from there how to take car photos. I think I got quite good at it. I started doing some freelance job in between while detailing cars for some publications. Then I got into some motorsports shoot back in the day before that was even trendy. So it's motorsport photographers. Hats off to them. It's a tough job because
It's
you're under the
tough,
sun.
bro. Yeah.
I shoot for 2-3 days at Sepang and I take a week to try and recover from the heat because you're hiding inside the areas, right?
Yeah.
No shade at all. Yes,
I got shade,
you wear whatever overalls you can because you're gonna be baked, and whatever shade you have is useless. It's so hot in Sepang.
Oh.
We don't have winter here. We have pure tropical heat every day.
We have panas, musim gila panas babi, and then banjir and
Then we have
what
musim
else,
durian.
Banjir.
musim durian.
That's starting. The
And
first batch
haze
of Pahang durians are arriving soon
let
already.
me know if you want to buy some durians.
Oh, you too?
My wife have an orchard.
Oh,
Yeah, so they sell durian.
Oh,
so we
very
give you
nice.
Musang King. Yeah?
Oh.
Good price.
Very good.
Let me know.
Website? Are we gonna
No
do plug
website.
it
It's
now?
one through word of mouth.
Okay.
Wow. Look at that cheeky smile. Look at that fucking cheeky smile. Wait. But the events though, so
Okay.
not just content though, right?
Yeah.
You also manage events, right?
Okay, so let me just sort of start back where we were. So I started shooting them and I started taking photos of cars and I think I got better at it. And I then started to play around and dabble with video. And that was absolute rubbish from the beginning. So I could only shoot in black and white because I couldn't grade and color grade. I wasn't good enough then.
Oh, I'm still shit, bro. Don't worry about it.
So I took it upon myself to try and learn the different arts here. And I think I could say I got a good grounding in photography.
Yeah.
And when we moved to Auto Detailer in Jaya 1, we built a photo studio, the first car photo studio.
Bro.
Yeah.
It's the one
Yes.
that went in, right?
Yeah,
with
been
the
there.
huge
Yes.
light, the
Yeah,
light box
yeah.
up there.
That the light box that now everyone puts in their shops, right?
Yeah.
We were the pioneers of that. We were the ones that came up with that design, and we had banks of lights that we would control 400 different tubes of fluorescent tubes, right? And we would switch them on in different banks to come up with different lighting effects.
Yeah, for the car to reflect the
For
light.
the- yeah. And then it had infinity walls. So we would shoot some work, commission work as well. So we'd earn some income that way and also be able to fulfill our, otaku, like, got a beautiful car, let's shoot it, right?
Yeah.
So it started from there. And after a while, as I was doing a bit of video, I realized I needed help. So we put out an ad. We looked for a few people who could assist us.
Editors.
Yeah, we started with one. And then over time, that grew. And right now we have a team of 6 people.
Just doing content.
So that's a department that we call it the creative side.
Yeah.
And they will idea, and they're very, very, they're as passionate as the team that works on the cars, and they've got a lot of ideas. So if you look at our socials, our video, our content,
It's such high level shit.
yes, they do try, and most of us aren't really. Well, I've got some that have come from a university
Yeah.
background in that, but like me, I learned it just from the
Same,
ground
same,
up.
same.
You get a
Yeah.
good feel, and watch a lot of Netflix, and then, but I think it's an expression of what we like and we love. So one of the things that's attractive about the creative department is that everyone there knows that we don't have to shape content to every client's expectations. We already have a framework and guide on how we shoot them.
Yeah.
So everyone has their versions, then they can creatively come up with their interpretation of how each car will be presented. Yeah, so we've got, of course, your usual BAU stuff, which is the product and service. Then you've got the showcase type of video shoots there, and they're all different. So you'll notice even our events, from event to event, there's no singularity in terms of how it's done. It's very creative and it changes because there's always
It's
a
the
shift.
feel
It's the
also.
feel.
Yeah,
so
it's the
we
feel.
let everyone experience that. So everyone who comes to the department, especially the ones who are interviewed and they come in, we also take in occasionally interns as well. And a lot of them have ended up working with us. They like it because we're fully like equipped.
Yeah, dude, I stack lah.
Yeah, we're like a DJI center, right? All the gimbals are there, the drones are there.
Man.
We've got the car rigs.
You
The
got
car
like
rigs are the
max,
cool stuff, right? We mount that onto our chase car and we do our rolling shots, and they've
that's
got its own
crazy.
stabilizer and everything else. So I guess we love to play with our stuff, right? I've got to explain to finance like why we're buying new equipment. Just bought some yesterday as well. Why do we need that? Oh, because this helps with our content.
You need to explain to your
It's
finance.
version 2. It's slightly better, you know.
difficult to justify, man.
You can't justify it. You can't justify it. And but I think for the most part, what we do is we're able to present what we love
In the best possible way.
in a language that people understand.
Bro.
And I think that works. People like it. People like the content.
I just say your Instagram, right? Looks like a fucking Jason Bourne movie, you know. Like the car tracking shots,
Yes.
is insane, bro.
Yes.
It's movie, you know. It's like Nolan shit, you
What
know.
camera you use?
We're okay.
Mad,
We're
bro, I
big
tell
on
you.
Sony's lah. So we use the FX series. Yeah.
Oh my
all the-
god!
yes.
Oh my lord,
Yeah.
bro.
Relax,
Yeah.
bro. I
Yeah.
thought you were going Red Komodo or what?
The FX10 is damn good. bro.
We have an existing relationship, a long-term relationship with Sony because when we first when I first started shooting, I told you I was in Minolta. It was an old second unit from my dad, right? Then I purchased a Sony, and then I met the product manager who saw what we could do, and then we collaborated, and I was basically appointed as a Sony product ambassador. Then. I was one of the first ones. So if you heard of the Sony Alpha series,
Yeah.
I was the
We are using Alpha.
yeah, correct.
You
That was
think-
back in the day. You know the A100s.
Yeah. Wow.
They
oh
was-
my
Isn't that
god.
what
Yeah.
music?
This is the A7S.
That's all new already.
Yeah.
We were the
A1 is-
old chunky ones. You know
Yeah,
the full
man.
frame. Yeah, yeah. That was
That's-
the A mount.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I call it the
bro.
ass mount because we bought all the lenses and now they shifted to E mount. You can't sell the lenses.
Yeah.
But we have all
you
the
have the
size.
adapter lah, but it's
No, it's not the same. Then
Yeah.
the wrong balance because the size is large and now the cameras are mirrorless and small.
Yeah, they're small.
So we had the whole range. Literally all the Zeiss. We collected all the I spent all the money on buying lenses.
Alamak.
So anyone who comes in, they do their stuff. In terms of shooting and edits, we've got all the latest rigs. You know,
Crazy.
they've got calibrated Rec 709 screens and all 4K secondary screens for menus. It's like a heaven for anyone who loves videography. lah.
Honest to God, right?
Yeah.
I feel right. Like the podcast is such a audio based
Yes.
form of entertainment.
Yeah.
But like when you're there right, at
Yeah.
your place, right?
Yeah.
You truly feel what it's like to have a decked out business, you know. Like fully decked out, and you can tell, right, it's like a labor of love because people there you can feel the energy.
Yes.
But at the same time you can feel like let's just show the world
Yeah.
our energy.
Yeah.
And then you can see in the whole like the video production space, it's
Yeah.
just like people just like that type of shit. It's like it's a vibe.
I think you're accurate describing it that way. The feel, the energy, the vibe is there because we've always pushed the team to do their best.
Yeah.
That prioritizes anything over even profit. So a lot of times there are a lot of jobs that take way too long. They've exceeded the
Yeah.
timeline that's allocated
It's a
because
loss, I
we
think,
just
also.
it's a loss. There are businesses, there are cars that comes in and goes out, and we make a loss on them. We just make a loss. But that is the business. It's not numbers. It's really about the passion in it. And sometimes we have people say, hey, no, just give me something basic, right? Tell you guys, just do it like this. You know, don't do it so nice. I can't qualify don't do it so nice because when they do it, they go extreme.
Yeah.
We're known to do things to the nth edge of things, right? And there is no halfway with us. If we dive in,
yeah, man.
we dive in
Yeah.
fully.
I recall this story when we were meeting up that day, and you were saying how there was this guy who came up to you and says, "I want to do my car," and you were like, "No point if you don't have a roof at home, lah.
Yes.
You install roof first, then only I do for you.
Yeah.
There's no point
Yeah.
because if I do it for you, you're
Yeah.
gonna leave it under the sun,
Correct.
and it's gonna ruin it.
Correct.
So there's no point." And I'm
Yeah.
just like, "Damn,
Yeah.
I don't know many people who can do that, who can say that as well."
It's a hard line to cross, to
crazy.
be honest. But that's why we always like to have conversations with our clients
Yeah.
because if we find out that so the first question we'll also ask is, how's your parking situation at
Yeah.
home and at work?
Right.
We need to start and find out information, right? Because if you're going to park it outdoors all the time, honestly, don't bother. You will waste whatever you spent on it because it's going to get damaged again.
Yep.
So the idea is for you to relook into what you're looking for. If you're looking for a finish that can last, or you want to make sure your car is kept well this time, then we need to change some foundational truths about your situation.
Yeah, your management of the car, lah, basically.
How do you manage the
Yeah.
car? What do you expect? There are people who think that doing a visit one time in 10 years works. It does not. The best cars that we have comes in year after year, once a year, for us to rework the car. And a lot of them are here every week.
Every week.
We've got clients that come in from JB just for a weekly wash.
That's crazy.
From Penang every 2 weeks.
Damn.
They are dedicated to
I suppose with those cars, it's also fun to drive down.
it's fun, but I think at the same time, I think with our clients,
It's trust.
it's the trust is one
the
thing.
trust,
It's also the fact that they bond with their cars. It is an expression of their personality already. If I could maybe impress upon you, that's sort of an understanding, like
Wow.
if I took your iPhone away from you, right? And that's an iPhone,
Yeah.
and I gave you an Android,
That's not me.
what would happen to you?
I would go into panic mode.
Right? You
Yeah.
you just like, it
I don't know how to
it
operate.
could be the latest one, the best Samsung there with a flip, right? But
wouldn't know.
it's not something you're familiar with.
Yeah.
You've identified as an
Yeah.
iPhone, right?
Because
Yeah.
your processes,
Yes.
right, and your experience is
Correct.
based on that specific.
We're so Mac based at the office as well because we're in the ecosystem already. And it's hard to make that change because that
Yeah.
change requires so many different shifts in expectations.
Yeah, your day to day, man.
Correct.
Which
So
is their car, lah, I'm
when they
assuming.
look at the car, they expect it to be a certain way. So they send it in. A lot of times our clients say, hey, it's on our schedule already. It needs to come in. I'm traveling. Here's the car. Let's get it done. So they come in. It's almost like an automatic thing. Right. So there is no shortcut to how a car is kept. It just takes work. And I always tell that I could put the best PPF on the car and we're good at that. But there's no magic to it. You need to consistently take care of the car.
Yeah, it's both ways, right? Because it's
Yes.
not a solution, one fixed solution
Correct.
type of thing. It's
So
a long term.
when we talk to the client, we also need to find this out and also to be able to impress upon you that it's a two-way thing. And
Yeah.
it needs your commitment. It's not just that you pay a sum now and the car is going to be perfect for 10 years. It doesn't work that way.
Don't work that way.
Yeah.
It don't work that way. Which I find so interesting, right? I feel like a lot of people don't think about this as well. Because you think it's just we were talking about how like if you're gonna send your car to Darren to do it, he's gonna ask you like, so at home, how do you park your car? Is it shaded? And when you go to
Under
work,
the
is it
shade.
shaded?
Yeah, don't
You
put
know?
under the sun too long.
Yeah, so questions like that are what make you think like, wow, actually it's not just a one-time solution you send to go and do like a cover or you're gonna do a touch-up or whatever. There's no point because overall, majority of the time of the car spent is outdoors.
It's like a baby, you got to really take care of it, man.
Yeah.
You got to feed it well.
I think with our cars as well, right? All our clients' cars, it's unique because they never have to rush during Raya or Chinese New Year. The car is generally well kept the whole year round.
Yeah.
We don't have seasonal rushes because throughout the year it's already well kept. They might come in
Right,
for just
right,
a bit more of a cleanup, but it's already there.
Yeah.
All the
Unless
time,
new
you know.
customers are.
Unless new customers, yes.
Yeah, lor.
Correct.
Yeah. Actually, I want to backtrack to the events part, right? Because
Yeah.
you were saying you were talking
Yeah.
about the content stuff.
Yeah.
But how did you actually diversify into doing a lot of those events?
Actually, with the events, we are involved because a lot of times there's two areas, two aspects and angles to this. One is because we're taking care of our clients' cars and they are being sent for the events, sometimes as displays, or our clients' cars are there. So we also join in along to make sure the cars are kept well, displayed well, and also keep an eye on them. But the other aspect of it is we're big on building up the car community. This is something that we believe in. I know it sounds completely foreign and completely, maybe to some people, what's the whole point of it? You can't monetize this. You can't, why are you wasting time on this? But we believe that the conversations with the car community is what builds up the right culture. And we have young ones that are really excited to see the car spotters, right? There's a whole community. I was introduced to them, and some of these are teenagers. Some of these are still in schools sometimes, and they go to car events. They have either their phone or they have a small basic camera. And we've hosted them before at our place. We've had little chats with them, and it's very interesting to see the kind of energy they have. But sometimes they require, like a friend of mine, David, he shared, he said, they require guidance. Without it, sometimes it becomes a bit of a havoc, so to speak, right? You've seen sometimes where the young ones are at events where there's so much noise, or the way they take care of cars or shoot cars, and they're leaning on cars and doing stuff like that, right? And that can cause a lot of different reactions, right? So I believe that if we can start to inspire the new generation, they will learn it better from people who are vested into what the future is for them as well. If that even makes sense, you know?
Kinda.
Yeah.
It does make sense. I feel like, especially when there is someone to sort of like, not to say hold your hand, but
Yeah.
be a kind, like understanding, or like having even, you're open to having a conversation, right?
Correct.
Because I think like when you're young and then you go to a very like senior place,
Yeah.
even if it's not cars,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Even if it's like a camera
Yeah,
group
yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
you feel as if you're quite intimidated because
Yes.
you're like, oh my God,
Yes.
who am I, right?
Correct. Correct,
So I think
correct.
when you have that, we used to be you too.
Yeah, correct.
You build
It's
that community.
recognizing that. It's
Yeah.
recognizing that sometimes the youngest needs to be guided a certain way, and complaining about it is never going to help. So why don't spend a bit more time?
Yeah.
And alongside with that, we are also very big and involved with car communities, car clubs. Specifically, you see like the Porsche event.
Yeah.
It's actually organized by our friends who've actually built up the Luftwasser
I
event
see.
from last year, which is the largest.
Was
Yeah.
it the dinner two months ago? There was a Porsche gathering.
Yes, that's the one. The pre-Luftwasser. We brought some of our auto detailer clients over, the cars and
You
all
ran
that.
that.
No, they run the event. It's organized by my friends. Yeah, so we support the event. So we make sure we build up enough energy and support. We bring a whole bunch of cars. I think how many cars did we bring in that
It was
day?
a fun event. A lot of people was drunk.
We brought in 20 something cars. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 27 cars, if I'm not mistaken, of our own clients and friends.
So you guys do the touch up and you bring it as
Yeah,
well.
it's correct. And then we bring it over, and then we all meet up, and then there's an exchange of that spark of what do you like about Porsches and everything. So I think with the car communities, it's something that I personally enjoy, and also to meet up with them, and again also to be constantly reminding them, and also be a reminder to them that let's be in it for the joy of driving. Let the cars be celebrated. Let the community be celebrated. Let the people be celebrated together, right? And come together. Yeah,
Common love.
It's almost like like a hippie concept, right? but it's actually a labor of love. So the guys behind Luftwasser, they put in a lot of time to do this. And last year, it was done to, I think, what I would consider a fantastic, resounding success. We had 300 over Porsches, and all turned up just because it was a community call to turn up, and it became a very good event. Yeah. And it's happening in July on the 7th. I'll just pimp this up for Luftwasser. And if you're around, it's at Pinnacle Cart. It's going to be interesting. So come by, and then you get to experience that. And along with that, also, I would add, aside from the events, we also try to start this spark of interest within the car community, right? And we did it with our introduction of our What's Your Story series.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little segment on YouTube, right? It's again a passion project, and again it makes no money for us. It's non-commercial. We don't promote products or anything there. And everyone that's on it is not just our clients. It's people that are in the industry, people that we know, and they're sharing about how they got started with their cars. And their thoughts and philosophy about life. And our recent one was with Dr. Awi, who's the head surgeon at IGN. And he's
What car he has?
he picked up a Porsche 911 recently. We helped him find one, and he's a dear friend of mine as well. And he's so humble. He's such a wonderful person in his heart, and bless him. We shared that interview out, and it became so commented. It became we had so much positive feedback from it. We had to release an extended version of it.
Wow.
Yeah, and he shares his philosophies about about life, how he approaches certain things, his thoughts, and how it guides him, and there were little touching moments as well about what happens when with a doctor and when a patient doesn't make it, and they're a heart surgeon, right? So they're on the deep end of things. This is not just a I think when I was watching the edits, you really feel the kind of emotions that they go through. So this is a series that we are continuing to promote, and we'll run as much as time as we can put into it, and we'll get people from all different backgrounds.
Yeah, man.
You know, and it doesn't have to
All
be
different sort of
it doesn't have to be a
experiences.
supercar. It could be a regular car, and we're
Yeah.
mixing up. We've got people who have started playing with Japanese cars.
Yeah.
We've had interviews with them. We've had Brian from Sneaker La. He came and shared about his So that was our first that we started off with that. I said I wanted someone very different, not in the car industry, and he loves his cars. I met him through the Renault group as well. He bought a Megane, and
nice car.
and he really loves his cars. You know, he's also a real car person at that as well. Not everyone that loves cars can understand everything about it, the jargon, the
Yeah.
mechanicals, the engineering, but you can understand the spirit of it, and I think that starts from there. You know, so
Then you become a nerd.
Then
It
you
starts
start
with
to-
love. Then you
yes,
become a nerd. You're like,
yes.
actually, what kind of brake pad? Then you
Exactly.
you go down that rabbit hole.
Exactly.
Everything starts
Yeah.
from love.
Yeah.
Yes,
You know,
yeah.
I want to ask you a question, right? So
Yeah.
people watching this will be like, I wish I could own that car
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah,
like that. Right?
yeah.
Not you have met a lot of people who owns this car. Clearly, they have done something right in life to
Yes.
be able to purchase those cars.
Yes.
What are those common traits that you see in all of these people?
I don't want to say menabung awal, but
That's Rosmar, okay? That's Rosmar.
I think with a lot of the clients that I've met, I would say that the majority of them got into the game of buying cars a lot later in life than we would expect.
How late is later?
Your trajectory, your timeline.
I,
are you?
I do projections on Darren, so I need to make sure
Okay.
my projections align.
Fair enough. That's your number. You're a geek in numbers, right? I think what I'm trying to say here is that for them, for a lot of them, the measure of success is in the business, what they can provide, and what they have invested for the future. Once they have done that, they start playing with cars. Whereas for a lot of us, me included, the first thing you want to do when you get out of college and when you start working is, I want to get a car, right? And you may not be able to buy a $250,000 car right off the bat, but you can certainly buy an old one and fix it up, right? That's the route most of us would take, right? So this is the route of a typical enthusiast, but it's also one that can make or break.
Yeah, man. I have a friend who bought a BMW 3 Series for about like 30 grand.
Yes.
And then it took him like 30 grand to fix
Yes.
it up, and then it just died also.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
The E30, is it?
Bro, I think you know the guy also lah.
Your
Don't
neighbor.
embarrass him lah, bro. We went to school with him lah. But it's an example lah. But it's true, man. A lot of
Yes.
people go down that route
Yeah.
because it's his dream car.
Yes.
You know?
Oh, the car died off already.
Yeah, bro. He was driving it down Genting, bro. Then halfway it's just gone.
Down some more, not even up.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm surprised you made it up then.
Yeah. I was a Cameron, I forgot. But basically, yeah lah. A lot of people go down that route, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Still sticking with my Honda City.
So the common theme is later in life, lah, right? You've sort of established your
I think
career.
once you have the budget and the means, then you can start to explore new interests. That would be the wisest way to go about it, rather than suffer so much at the start.
yeah.
But that also depends on opportunity as well. Sometimes it could be a small car that you play with, right? I started off with a Volkswagen. After a couple of years, I sold it because it was just untenable for me.
Yeah.
Then to rebuild the car would have costed too much on a college student's budget.
Yeah, man.
So then my dad got me a second-hand Proton Saga from my cousin.
Oh shit, I drove a Saga too, man.
Family discount. So I drove that for a while. And I still have the car. Still,
Wow.
yeah, still have it.
Oh,
yeah.
damn.
Yeah,
You
it's-
never forget your first, man.
you never forget it. It's still there. But
Wait, you still keep a Proton Saga?
yeah.
Why?
That's crazy, bro.
It's a memento, lah, I suppose.
You can't sell it for much.
Yeah, what you gonna
I
say?
know,
Okay.
but like
Okay.
to keep it as well, right? Like I feel like it takes up space. You still need to.
but
Yes,
for
an
the business, I
underground
got
garage.
space.
I know you got space. I know you got. But I didn't see the garage, bro.
No, it's outside.
Oh, is it?
Oh, this one gonna sound okay,
It's outside the garage in the parking space.
In the
It's
parking
still in
space.
shape.
Okay.
Wow, bro,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
crazy, man. It's
I've
a
got-
memento lah.
It's a memento. I've got 2 Fiat Coupes as well that I
nice.
have had. So planning to keep that as long as I can for the kids. Yeah. So we car guys, it's very hard for us to sell cars. We're I think just intrinsically emotionally bound to them.
It's hard to
You
let
know?
go, man.
And I've got friends I know who have sold their cars and bought them back.
Serious?
Yeah, so watching them, you're like, I'm gonna be a bit smarter. I'm not even gonna sell it, you know? Yeah.
One step ahead.
Correct.
Oh my god. But you
Yeah.
have to maintain quite a lot though, right?
It is.
You know, start up the car, you gotta maintain the
Yes.
engine, you gotta check it, you gotta move
Yes,
it, check
yes.
tires. Bro, it's a lot of
Yes.
work, man.
Or if you're not gonna drive it, just put it aside. Make sure it's well kept and do the occasional cleanup. And
Once a week on the car so that the battery don't die.
I've got cars that have died already because I collect cars. Yeah, so sometimes some are quite old, and we don't get enough time to start all
It's
of
a
them.
lot of work, bro. Bro, if you
it's
see the number of cars he has in his garage, it's impossible, bro. Even
many,
with your 30 packs, right? Because it's a very heavy operational job.
Yes, correct.
So I don't know, man.
Cars.
For my own cars, our own project cars, we will start them. We've got a routine, but the cars that we've collected over time, our personal cars, we've put them aside mostly. We're okay to start them up whenever we need to, and it'll need a little bit of work, but that does not take precedence.
You're
It's always
lucky
clients'
you
cars.
at Jaya 1, bro. You have a lot of parking lots over there as
we
well.
do. Yes, we do. Yeah.
Oh my lord, lah,
Yes.
brother. Okay, so you've been doing this business for like 20 years already, right?
Yeah.
And like obviously you're just not gonna stop. You're gonna keep doing this. Although now like I feel
Oh, he chill lah.
I don't know lah, I can see, right? You have your Sunday bike rides.
Yes. That's my de-stressor.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I take a bike ride to work.
Yes.
100 km.
I did last week. Lastly, I had I snuck out for a ride before I got into work late. So I had a 100-kilometer ride on a Saturday, and then Sunday I had a 100-kilometer coffee ride. So yeah, that's my.
What is
What is
that?
a coffee
What's a
ride?
100-kilometer coffee ride?
What even is a coffee ride?
I don't drink coffee, in fact.
you cycle,
So
so you
it's
get-
just a term. I just put it there. Yeah.
So when
it's
people
a
drink
chill
coffee,
ride.
you just ride lah.
I bring them to coffee places. I know good coffee places, but I'm just not
Not a
someone
coffee
who
guy. Okay,
really likes
Kenji is
coffee.
Kenji's this is the island,
He's
is
addicted. He's
does
addicted
this,
to it.
the
Yes,
coffee snob. He
He's
goes
a
to one
full
half.
snob. Yes, one half all the way. Yeah.
Yeah. But so he goes on bike rides and everything. But I feel like it's not a bad thing. I feel like if you get to that point, it only goes to show how strong your team is,
Yes.
What?
Because if you can go for a bike ride, right, you can focus on yourself, right, and you make like a lot of big decisions, right.
Yes.
Your team is what is so strong, right.
Yes.
You can afford that 100-kilometer bike ride and come into work a bit late.
Yes.
It's
Correct.
that
I'm so
efficient.
impressed that he can do a 100-kilometer bike ride rather than.
Well,
a
you start
team
with
being
10, you
strong.
build up to 100. Yeah.
Actually,
So,
I
just
feel honestly like a 10 km ride is not that long.
No.
It's not that long. Bro.
If it's anything,
Charging if it's a straight road lah. I'm sure there's up and down.
yeah,
right?
yeah. But even that,
I don't come out for any rides
Less than
shorter
50.
than 30. Yeah, it's 30 kilometers. I ride at home because I've got my trainer. I can do that at home.
Yeah.
Because you got to wash a jersey, you got to clean the bike. There's a lot of setup involved. You got to
Yeah.
wash a helmet, everything. If you're not doing at least
Right.
100,
It's not
for me,
worth it, lah.
It's not worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a good 45 minutes after the ride to settle down.
Right.
Yeah, so that takes up that time, So if it's not, my jammies, I just put on a bib and I can cycle there. Yeah, I do that most mornings. I'll do a 20-kilometer, just a light cardio, just to
I
finish
see.
up. Yeah.
I
Do
see.
you have an extra bike?
bro, if you went to his garage, bro.
What? God, too many.
Probably more than one extra lah, I imagine.
I want to try to cycle.
I shall neither confirm nor deny. But there are a lot of hidden bikes.
I want to try to cycle. lah. Can I try and cycle with you?
Yes, you can.
I'm scared, guys.
Bro, some of the bikes, right, that he has cost more than car.
No, I don't want to ride any of his bikes, bro. I'm gonna go and buy some random one in OUG.
That Gucci
right?
Miao can just.
Some 70 ringgit shit. I'll just ride it with him lah. Okay.
His
Well, I'm not
bikes,
touching his bikes lah.
some bikes cost more than cars, bro.
Some
I'm
bikes,
sure.
yeah.
I've heard. I
Yes.
think
Yeah.
Blondie. What's his name? Who's the one who is a bike?
It's Keith from MVP.
that dude,
But
that
Keith
dude,
is also a car guy.
Okay.
Something
okay.
to do with guys and wheels, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
his bicycles are so light you can lift it with one
Carbon
finger.
fiber, I guess.
Damn.
Yeah. Yep,
So
they're
you got a
all
really light bike or a really strong finger, I can't tell.
No, it's a light bike.
It's a bike,
Sub 7 kg.
Oh
Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
that's really light.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's madness. And the bikes that they go on, it's not the conventional you just step on. You gotta buy the specific shoes to lock it on.
Yes, yeah. You've got the clip-ins.
Yeah, Charles has
everything.
been trying to
Yes.
like he's been edging me. I think
Yes.
you also is like, hey,
Yeah.
come lah, buy a bike lah. You know
Yeah.
my friend Matt is like, hey bro, buy a bike lah. I'm like,
Let me get into the psyche of bike people. We would love to recruit you to bring you in, and there is maybe a 1% part of it where it's for your own good, but 99% is to watch you suffer.
Then no,
There's
we
a
have to-
joy in that when you wake up and, oh, Jonathan's coming for a ride today. Let's
kill
see
it.
how he goes.
Oh my god, lah.
The suffering is what exactly? The lack of stamina or
Okay, so if we were to do 100 kilometers, that's typically a 4-hour ride at least. That's nonstop. Lah. You'll take little breaks in between, sometimes after 50 kilometers. So I would ride from my home, which is somewhere in SS2, and I would sometimes ride with my friends. We would go all the way as far as Sungai Tinggi. We would have gone to even Morib, which is a good 170 kilometers.
Right.
Yeah. That one is like a 7-hour plus ride. So you
this is
start at
Kuala
6.
Lumpur, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically all the way Kuala Selangor side
Correct,
there.
correct,
Yeah,
correct,
yeah. So and you have to go through Kesas, you have to learn the bike routes. So there I did share this with Jonathan the last time we had lunch. It's almost a self-inflicted pain that you look for.
Yeah.
But it's one that helps sharpen your senses. I treat the bike rides, I do 100 kilometers because I think a lot during them. It helps me to refocus. It helps me take my mind off work for a while and then to think about new approaches to just have a reset before I get back in.
Kind of feels like
the
gym sessions, you know.
Or
It
the,
is.
or
Yeah.
run.
It is.
I go for runs as
Yes.
well. So
Yeah.
I go gym, I release, I just
Yes.
rethink and everything.
Yes, yeah. You hit the racks, you hit a new number there. That's how it works, yeah. Yeah.
It's a guy thing. I swear to God.
No, it's an equally a girl thing as
Is
well.
it?
It is. We all do it for different purposes. Some of us are for socials, the photos.
Right.
We're all there, yeah. But I think having the reset is crucial for me. I used to work out at the gym 5 days a week because Fitness First was Celebrity Fitness was upstairs above my garage. So
shit,
yeah,
yeah.
it was, yeah. But since the pandemic, I've never gone back.
But now they have bump, right? I think like
They've got bump, bouldering.
the bouldering.
There's
They
there are
have
a lot of
gym there too.
activities. Yeah. So I've actually stopped completely. So I've pretty much lost most of my structure as well. And I went cycling in the middle of MCO. I'm one of those MCO cyclists,
MCO
right?
cyclists.
But with the cycling, I think it comes with there's a social aspect to it. I used to ride solitary, then it got a bit boring, and I started meeting friends along the way. And we now have bike rides on weekends. Some of them are so blessed they can do it during the weekdays. I've got friends who cycle almost 7 days a week.
Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, they have the privilege to do that, and it's fantastic for them. But for a lot of us, it's weekend cycling. Yeah, so I think it's a nice change of pace.
Bro, it's bloody freaking hot, lah.
It is, and if you look at my skin, right? That's why I wear a long sleeve. Otherwise, it looks weird
You got the
because you got the
farmer's tan.
bird. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Dude, you gotta get up at like 4 a.m. You gotta get prepped.
Yes.
Then you gotta go out. Then you
Goggins,
come. Huh?
What's the guy's name? Goggins.
David
David Goggins.
Goggins.
Yeah, just round the same.
Bro, Goggins is different. Goggins, right, is not even a human being. But we are talking about normal mortals here. We are mere mortals, bro. Like a bike ride, 3-4 hour ride. Actually, it sounds brutal, but actually it's damn fun.
Yes.
You know, you get to see so much sights. Then you get to be with your friends.
Correct.
Even if it's solo, sometimes you just have your,
yes.
reflection time,
So the route is important. It's like the very standard route everyone goes to is GCE, Guthrie, because there's a motorcycle lane. So you get to clock in about 40 kilometers there. It's a full loop.
I see.
So just do 2 and then you've got 80, right? That's just there. But Guthrie can be a little bit boring and stale because it's all Kelapa Sawit views. So the other route that we go is via Templars.
I see.
Right
Okay.
past Jalan Rawang bypass. And you climb that one up. Yeah,
Bloody
it's a
freaking
bit.
hell.
Yeah, I'm usually at the end of the peloton, and it's a climb. It's a challenge, but with that, at the end of the ride or halfway through, you cut through Serena and you're in Uluyam area.
Yeah, man.
So I try not to ride so much there because that's where we tuge as well. But the route there, the scenery, the greenness of things, that sharp ozone smell that you get, right? You really feel recharged. It's almost like forest bathing, and I'm a big believer in that. I like sometimes when we're on a little breakout, we'll just go to Kuala Lumpur, just step into water and just unwind there for 2 hours. You come out with a completely different energy.
Yeah. It's
You
because we're so like rooted in the city, right?
We
We're
are so.
so used to
Yeah, so
the concrete.
if I kept that phone from you,
Whoa, bro, cannot, bro. It's just
one day
I'll
you'll
suffer,
be
man.
bonkers.
yeah.
I kid you not, because I automatically touch my phone to make sure it's there. I'm so OCD. My phone right now is it's just about less than 100%. My power bank is with me.
Oh, shoot, you're that type.
Yeah, I am that type.
Oh
yeah.
shit, my
Yes.
wife's like that too.
Don't carry
Yeah.
power bank when you go out, man.
I don't even have a power bank.
What? That's mad.
Yeah, I just live life on the edge that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I
dangerous
bring it
people.
if I'm out for a whole day, but I don't care if it goes down to 20%. My wife thinks I'm fucking crazy.
Yeah, you
You're
are
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
even my petrol, I reached to the point where it goes like,
Red?
no, it goes to like, please
Zero?
pump.
Whoa.
Then only I pump.
So like living life dangerously lah.
Yeah, for me, I'm like, it's alright, it's
So
okay.
you're
But-
fortunate you're not OCD then. So with me, I've got
Yeah.
a power bank that does rapid charging. I've got a specific cable that deliver it at a
the-
specific
yeah.
wattage so that I can
Right,
get the
right,
charge.
right.
the
up
fast
at a
charge.
certain- Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I have 2 power banks, bro.
But
Just
I mean,
in case my power bank
okay,
fails.
so to be fair, I'm very blessed. I live nearby, I work nearby, everything's nearby, right? So I don't really need it, you know? But my wife Jen, she's like, huh? Your battery is 60%. I'm like, it's not that bad, man. 60%. She's like, how can you live like
Yeah.
this? 60% is not a big deal.
Life
man.
on the edge.
For me, it's fine.
It's
man.
pretty okay. 60% pretty okay.
Yeah,
though. I mean,
which-
40, I'd be worried lah. 40, I'm like, okay,
60, I worry
dangerous.
for you already. Yeah. Yeah.
When
I-
my battery reaches 60%, Darren or WhatsApp me, you okay, bro?
So sometimes we get like screenshots from our team discussions, right? And they'll be like, okay, this is what we did. It's a photo and all
First
that.
thing you
And I'm
see.
like, hey, why are you not charging your phone? You know?
You gotta make sure your phone is on to reply clients, man. Hello?
I mean, yeah, lah, but,
We're such a connected society.
we are.
So when we head out where there's no reception, you're disconnected. And then you're suddenly connected with nature. And there's a beauty in that.
There is,
really.
man.
Yeah.
Especially when you step on grass. Like, when was the
Yes.
last time you actually stepped barefoot on grass?
Yes.
Last week.
Probably a year, man.
Make sure it's grass and not some dog poo.
Yeah, lah, but you know, even just like taking off your shoes, right, and walking,
Right.
right, on like not indoor, but
Yeah.
outdoor, you know, I feel it's a different feeling. You
There
feel
is,
like you're
there
connected
is.
to the ground,
There is.
right?
And there's a charge to it as well.
Yeah, I read about
Yes,
that, but I never believed it until I went, because normally when I throw rubbish, right, I lazy
yeah,
wear my slippers.
yeah.
So I walk out barefoot.
Yeah.
And then you just feel like, wow, there's a warmth that comes from the earth
Oh, yeah,
after
yeah,
the
yeah,
whole
yeah.
day, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I mean, I'm very privileged
Yes.
to be able to walk out of my house like that.
Yes.
So I feel like, wow, actually a lot of people don't have that.
No.
Like I can walk out and just step barefoot onto the ground. Even grass. It's just rare, you know,
Yeah,
now that I think
yeah,
about it. And it's I remember as a kid, it used to happen so often.
Yeah, this happened to me. I think maybe a couple of weeks ago. It was raining really hard. I was wearing the wrong slippers, so I wanted to go and bring an umbrella to my girlfriend. So I got out of the car and I didn't want to get my slippers wet, so I left it. So I walked barefoot on the tar road to go and pick up an umbrella. I'm like, wow, this really feels like childhood.
Right? It's different.
Yeah,
Because you-
It's
and
different.
I've never thought about this in a
Yes.
long time.
Yes.
But that
Ah.
sensation of the rocks,
Correct.
right? The little bit of heat radiating
Yes.
from the afternoon.
Yes.
Sand that
Yes.
gets caught in between,
Yeah.
that type of shit.
Yeah.
Or that shard of glass you stepped on.
Oh,
shit.
gotta go there, bro.
Just as you said that, you know, the other day I was walking around, I was completing my 10K steps. Fucking hell, you know. I stepped, right, on a freaking huge, like, screw, right, that went through my slippers, right, and just missed my foot like that, you know. Like, it just went through and went out, you know. I'm like, oh my lord. I was playing Monster Hunter at 2 p.m., you know. I was like, then I stepped, I'm like, wow. Went through my Birkenstock all the way, you know. And just like, if I stepped wrongly, it went through my foot, you know.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm not looking at it, I'm looking at my phone, right?
yeah.
It's stomping so hard for you.
No,
to
bro,
to stop.
because it's
No,
under construction. So like the sidewalk, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to place the panel. So they haven't placed the panel, so I just walked across lah. Then I saw the screw just went through my slipper. Right? I'm like, oh shit, that was damn
because
close.
you're playing
Could I got
Monster
hospital,
lah.
bro? That one.
Yep. Straight injection.
Yeah, you
already.
get tetanus
Yes,
injection, you
correct.
get the whole 9 yards.
And twisted your leg and then, you know,
Yeah.
it's over.
Oh, I just looked at it and it was like upright, and then I just like I bent it.
I mean, don't play Monster Hunter near construction site.
I didn't know, ma. You know, it's just.
I mean, I think
At
that's,
least he's not chasing Pokemon.
yeah, that's the lesson right here, right?
Bro,
bro.
it's crazy, bro.
You know, even the games tell you stop playing game in dangerous area.
Find a safe
There you
zone,
go.
yeah, bro. I was like,
I think we all at some point are guilty of this, that constant connectivity. As I'm driving out for a meeting, I get another text, right? And it could be from a client or the office. And you're like, I shouldn't, but I'm flipping it up to...
Yeah.
And yes, it's right in front of me. I can see the car ahead. I shouldn't, but I have.
That day he did it, then he got summoned.
Yeah, dude, I look at my map. I took my phone, look at map, straight police got me.
There you go.
Bloody hell, ayo.
Just think of it as a blessing, you know. Maybe something else could have happened, and it's just a summon, right?
Yeah.
I could have hit the car. What? I
Yes.
mean, it's true,
Yeah,
lah.
yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. Okay, wait, go back to your business real quick.
Yeah.
All right. So you've been in this business for 20 years, right? Do you feel like your kids would one day take over?
Man.
I think I'm open to that possibility.
Do the Japanese thing, bro. You know, the Japanese, you know, like that whole 15th generation.
Okay, so my wife's philosophy for this is that we would like them to try and work outside first.
Okay.
No parachute, no golden parachute. So you experience life outside, you work outside, and then from there you see whether this is a match for you.
I think it's fair.
Yeah, unless one of them comes of a certain age and then they're like, you know, I really want to get into this. I think it's cool. Like one of my daughters, I've got 4 kids. I've got 2 boys and 2 girls.
Harmony.
Yes, good harmony. We're good balance. Yeah. So when I go to malls, all the Malay families will be like looking at me like, "Hey, Simbang, wah, bye, yeah, wawasan 20-20,
Wawasan 20-20.
Cina ni ada banyak
yes,
ni.
yeah." And so we would we share what we do at work, but they all have their different interests. So this daughter of mine spoke to me when I came back one day. Said, "Hey, so my friends heard that you have a special car at your place." And I'm like, okay, we have different special cars. Which one are you talking about? And why are you asking me? You've not asked to come over to visit specifically to see any cars, right? You come over because you need to be around, or you know, we'll just do our usual father-daughter or family thing, right? And she says, it's a special car, and they say nobody can take photos of the car. Can they come see the car? And you know which car it was.
I know,
yeah, so it blew up so big, right? From all those shots
the
through
TikToks
the
and shit,
the TikToks, right? That when they found out that her dad runs auto detailer, they're like, "Can you please ask your dad?" And she's got a lot of guy friends. Yeah, she's got a little base there, right? So I said, okay, I'll bring them in. They can't take photos, but they're welcome to have a look at the car. I'll host them for a visit.
Why so kind, man?
What a nice guy.
Well,
I mean,
daughter, right?
how to say no to your daughter?
You clock in the credits there, lah, right? Yeah. So we had them over. I think it was 5 of them, and they were so excited to see not just the car but all the other cars. And then she chatted, and then they were so happy, and then we left it as that. Then a couple of weeks later, she asked my wife. She says, when can I take my license? So she's 16 now, so she's not yet. She says,
close.
well, you know, when you're 18, you can go and take your license. Okay, and you know what kind of transmission everyone takes their license with, right? Typically, it's
Manual.
auto, right? No,
What?
No,
it's auto already now.
It's
You have
already.
auto
Yes,
right
now,
now.
yeah. Yes.
Pussy generation. Okay, sorry. All right.
So then she said, yeah, okay. I want to take manual. So,
Bro,
then
she's
my
the
wife said,
golden
"Oh, is our daughter so cool?" So I don't know if I should be sharing this on the web, but then she said, "Yeah, because you know, Daddy has a white car that has a manual gearbox." Then she said, "No way, you're not getting the 911." No chance of that one. You might drive the Prius, and that's on automatic, but, you know, because the friend said
She's aiming high though, she's aiming
she
high,
is
right?
aiming high.
Too high,
That's not gonna happen.
Like Icarus, like flying to the sun, you know. No.
Hey, that one she worked outside driving 911. Nah, bro. Your boss will never give you a
Correct.
But
equipment.
you know, honestly, as a dad,
Yes,
she learns manual.
yes.
No.
You telling me you don't even want to let her try, man?
No.
She
She
go
can
to an
try.
open parking lot.
She can try, but she's not getting the 911.
No, but she won't get a night. She get to try.
Oh, she can.
Yeah.
Can.
You know, if I was I was in that position, I would definitely do it. But at that time, I didn't have a choice. It's only manual.
But all our manual project cars are special cars. So none of it are for P drivers.
Sorry, bro.
So you can learn it, but you'll need to
That is some-
be experienced before you.
I
get to take
did
any of
see a
them out.
car that day. It was I don't know when I should
GTR.
disclose
Yeah,
this. Okay.
yeah.
And
car, man.
I recall I was next to Charles, and Charles was like, "Bro, you're looking at that shit." I'm like, I actually don't understand what's happening. He's just reversing the car, right? He's like, "Bro, look properly, bro." Then I look at the wheel, right? It's just like Okay, so for people who are listening and you're not watching, you need to see what I'm doing, right? But basically, the wheels when you reverse are so like torqued up, right? It just goes, and the ground in your garage is not like tarmac. It's
It's all concrete.
Yeah, it's concrete. So it's so smooth that the tires don't pick up the friction enough to reverse. This guy has to feel the car and in order to back the car. And when you look at it, it's so fast, right? So I don't really see it until I really pay attention. I'm just like, Jesus Christ. If this guy tekan too hard, right?
He's gonna go fly to Nirvana, man.
The other cars are gone also, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn, that takes skill, man.
High risk, high reward.
I think you need to understand the cars.
Yeah.
So in our facility, we only have 4 specific drivers that are experienced enough to take the cars around. So no, only 4. Yeah, very specific, and they're very careful with the cars. Sometimes we have to also assist clients to collect cars. Sometimes we got to drive the cars out to test them as well.
Yeah.
So these are very curated team of drivers that we have there, and you need to understand the car. So the car that you were referring to is a 1,000 horsepower GTR. So
Which year was it?
I think I can't recall the year, but this had the HKS GT 1000 upgrade. Yeah. So even on a normal traffic day, when you're just driving the car, it's waiting to pounce.
You cannot.
It is not a comfortable car.
It's a sepang.
That car,
Yes.
right?
It's a sepang type of shit.
2
car,
hours
you
you
know.
reach Ipoh lah.
No, bro.
1.5 hours, I think.
I think it's too dangerous to be on the road.
I'm not going to give you an exact time, but we've shaved off to Singapore at about that time.
Wow.
2 hours.
Look at that. You shaved off half of the journey, mate.
Slightly less, I remember. Yeah.
Bro, I go KLIA is 40
Allegedly.
Not saying that they did, like, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yes.
But I'm sure
With no proof.
With no proof.
it was
no
so
proof.
fast, the speed trap couldn't even take a picture.
Yes, correct.
That's how fast it was.
Time moves backwards.
I think the further you drive, you can go to like Turkey in negative 30 minutes.
Correct.
That is crazy, man.
Yeah.
1,000 horsepower.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
man.
I feel like, I never really appreciate it until I see it. That's the thing.
yeah.
And I felt like, wow, actually it was a shame, right, that this podcast couldn't have been done there. I felt like, if we could have done it there or do it like a video, you could walk through and all that. But I feel like you don't need to. And also because there's a lot of privacy involved when it comes to all the cars and all that.
Plus a lot of noise. The air compressor's going to be running.
But you have that sick ass studio though.
Yeah, we do. But that's a storeroom now for
Yeah.
car parts.
Yeah, you say that. He I feel right when Darren says things, right? You have to take it with not just a pinch, but with a freaking scoop of salt.
Yeah.
Because when he says this type of shit, right, you're like, it's just a storeroom. Yeah, a storeroom full of what? Like your MS seats for your car? Or full of like what? Bro.
It's just downplaying.
It is a storeroom.
Let the man
downplay, bro. It's mad downplay,
Let
bro.
the man downplay.
I guess anything is a storeroom if you want it to be.
Yeah,
right?
exactly,
You know?
right? See?
This is the statement
You
of a fact.
understand?
That light box that we mentioned earlier in the podcast as well is so unique that when you show glass or reflective material under it, it doesn't show strands of light. It shows flat. It's just like when you reflect, like my watch, for example, my Apple Watch, when I warp it under the light, right, it's just clean. There's no reflection, bro.
That's the beauty of it. So we had a friend of mine, Azrul,
OLED,
who's very no, it's not OLED. It's actually all fluorescence, because at the time when it was built, then that was the most intense color balance that we could produce. We needed to balance the white balance for that. So we had Azrul, who's a very famous fashion photographer. So he's a close friend of mine, and we came up with the idea. He shared how we could structure the lighting and everything, and it's designed to shoot an entire car
Yeah.
with a flick of a switch. So when you put your watch there, you're like, that's just a small little thing.
It's insane,
Yeah,
bro.
it's like your phone will just take it without even having to set up light, right?
Yeah.
It's literally like a cloudy day all over.
Yeah,
And
perfect.
it's perfect.
Balance.
Yes.
Like, wait, actually, I can send the video to Nick, and then Nick can like sort of play it, and then
WhatsApp.
yeah, I'll try to find it and send it, or maybe I'll just overlay it on the
It's
podcast.
gonna be a
later.
messy storeroom, isn't it?
No, bro, no. When I did it,
Okay.
I remember I just shot my watch, and I was like, damn, bro, this is damn crazy, lah. Okay, I got it. This is the one. See, check it.
Yeah.
Oh, mad, bro.
Yeah,
Check it.
yeah.
That's the one.
Wow, this one looks like
It's crazy, dude. I don't understand this shit.
it's the type
Like,
of shit you see on Pinterest and you're like, how the hell did that
So
happen?
when we built the light box, we started shooting cars in the light box. Nobody else had a light box for cars then, and we shared it online overseas, and all the photographers are like, oh no, this is all Photoshop, cars cannot be that shiny. Yeah, they don't believe, especially out of Malaysia. It's a cultural
world
thing.
country?
Yes,
Of
it's
course,
very third
yeah.
world. Yes, that's how they think, So, yeah.
Okay, so you're just playing this for the viewers, right? So this is me in Darren's light box studio. Look at that light.
Storeroom.
Storeroom. Look at that. That is insane. You see that? There's no strands of light. It's just flat. Look at that. Perfect. Wow.
Oh, it looks damn crispy, man.
It's crispy.
Yeah.
Looks crispy.
It makes my watch look like it's an ad.
Yeah.
Almost.
You can shoot your own face and it looks like an ad.
Yeah.
Your glasses will look even. There's no breakaway.
You can tell,
It's
right?
so wide, the expense of it. Yeah.
I honestly think, right, shooting this with my iPhone looks like higher production than the videos that we shoot for this podcast. Just this. Because
It's
the light,
lighting. Lighting is everything.
This is-
If you're a photographer or videographer,
The light.
lighting is
Yeah.
everything.
it's not the cam.
Yes.
Because this is a phone that recorded this. Is insane.
It's like when you take videos in Japan, it just
Yeah.
looks nicer.
Yeah.
The light hits different.
You know why?
This is giving that vibe.
Because the sunlight,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
side lighting.
Correct.
So your photos are more dramatic. Yeah, the
Yeah.
trees, the shadows
Looks
are
epic.
sideways. They look epic. Yeah.
It looks like shot on iPhone.
Yes.
Correct. Over here,
Yes.
Shot on
in KL.
cheap plug shit. That's why.
Yes.
The light here is too direct. That's the thing,
Yeah,
It's
so
the
we have
equator.
to work very creatively. Yeah. So when you do your trips there, I do my annual trip there, right? it's like photo fest for me. I just
Yeah.
go out there, I shoot anything and everything.
And it looks brilliant.
It looks good.
Yeah.
It looks good.
No,
Yeah.
Darren's shit, right? He goes there, right? He's looking to shoot a movie,
And then
I've
he
done
does.
the movies. I've done that. I've done it. For the first couple of rounds, I did it, but I got a bit tired, so I simplify it more to photos now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when I travel, I used to have a 35-kilo backpack, right? It had
my
3
God.
cameras. Yeah, 2 video cameras and an actual photo camera that I had. It had my tripods, it had my lighting, it had all my gear, my hard disk.
Then you
It
realize
became
it's
very
not a holiday.
tedious. No, it's not a holiday.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, so I was literally carrying it and I was swinging it by. My wife would be waiting for me while I shoot
That
people
is
in the
literally my
subway.
wife also.
Yes, yeah. They're like, oh, can you not do that?
Because you just feel like you want to capture as much
Every
as you
moment
can.
is important, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like it's almost picturesque. You
Yes.
can see it, And when the guys are cooking and doing all that stuff, and you're taking like slow mo shots, 120 FPS, it's a beautiful thing. It's art, and
And you want to remember it.
You want to remember, and you want to share it as well, right? But I'm a bit older now, a bit more wiser, and I've just simplified it to shooting videos with iPhone now, and I try to take photos. But I've gotten the itch again this year. Maybe I might pick up a small camera and start doing some, portrait type videos.
You should check out his Instagram. I feel like it's incredible as well. Like when you see his shit, his photos look cinematic.
Right.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
But that's also because you can tell, right, when you shoot it, right? It's just because you love it so much.
Yes.
And I feel like I don't know like my wife and your wife probably have this like
Yes.
boys and their toys like
Yes.
fuck like I have to wait
Correct.
for them to do. And Jen is constantly just waiting for me all the time. So I feel like Actually, I want to ask, right? When you were dating your wife at the time before you guys got married,
Yeah.
she was, I'm going to assume, very supportive from the get go.
Yes, she was.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like I feel like if you have a very obsessive husband, right, in his own industry, right, I think the only thing you can do is be that supportive,
Yes.
right?
She has been.
How did you guys meet, and then how did you guys get?
Well, we've been married 18 years now. Yeah.
That's as long as your business, bro.
Yes, yes. So
Right.
we actually pretty much started the business together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think we were together for a couple of years before that, and pretty much settled and decided that we're a good match for each other, and we got to meet each other through a mutual friend of mine, my gym buddy, and we met at a Starbucks.
Oh my god.
And I don't drink coffee.
So you went there for hot chocolate, I guess.
No, I think it just happened to be there, and we chit chatted. I don't think she liked me at that point.
Who does?
Yeah.
I bet my wife don't like me at first. So.
Oh, bro, my first impression, my wife was horrible.
Yeah.
It's okay lah.
Now I was making fun of a laptop because I'm a geek, right?
Oh, shit.
So it wasn't a Mac. So I started making some.
You
funny
shit on
jokes.
her HP,
Yeah,
You know how
that's exactly what I did. And she was telling her friend, right? Like, this guy is an idiot, and he thinks he's funny. And I thought it was funny if you get the Mac jokes,
Bro, when my wife met me, I was in my Nike shorts, torn up t-shirt because I just finished the gym, and I was rolling a cigarette, bro. It's just like,
I mean, you choose to go there like that,
I'm
right?
like, wow, this guy's a It's a state, man. It's a state.
I guess if she's seen you like that, she's understood you at your lowest point.
Yeah, bro.
Can only go up from here, I suppose.
No, because I thought that we were just meeting up for dinner. I
Yeah.
didn't really like assume it was a date. And she was
Yeah.
like, wait, isn't this a date? I'm like, oh fuck.
What? You asked the girl out for dinner and then
I didn't think it was a date. I thought it was just like, okay, so for context, it's because she saw my YouTube channel at the time and then she was like, oh, let's hang out. I'm like, oh, let's hang out lah. I didn't think it was a date. Then after that, she dressed up so nice.
You did the whole celebrity thing, right?
No, bro,
Unlike
I
some
really just thought it was just gonna
dirty,
eat.
you know, naughty,
Fuck,
yeah,
like,
YouTuber. Right?
But I made it up to her lah. The next day that I dressed up nice, I bought her lunch and everything. Like, I just like, oh my god, like I fucked up.
The fact that she accepted the second date means she's buying low, selling high. already, right?
I wanted to ask who paid for dinner the first one.
I always paid. I have to lah, gentlemen to be.
I don't know about equality, you know.
So
it's okay.
technically, when you started the business, also you were with her already
Yes,
lah.
yeah. She was
Oh.
also detailing the car. She can polish cars.
Wow.
Wow, that's
She picked
cool.
that up as well.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice,
yeah.
nice, nice.
Yes.
Make them
No
love what
wonder.
you do. Correct.
No
Then it will be a
wonder.
nice marriage.
Well, not make them, encourage them.
Encourage them. Choice of words.
Yes,
Sorry,
correct.
my bad. Poor choice of
I
words.
see. I see.
Poor choice of
Wow.
words.
It's
Yeah.
been a journey, bro.
It is.
It has been a long
is.
journey.
It is.
What? Okay, maybe last few questions so I can
Sure.
wrap up a little bit.
Sure.
Right. What do you foresee yourself in the next 20 years, bro? Because you were saying how you shouldn't go in without a plan, right? So 20 years now. What's 20 years later?
Familia.
Well, we're hoping to be able to expand our range of services,
Okay.
and we're still trying to figure out what's the best approach to do that. I think I'll still be very much involved in the car industry. I think we're car people. We love cars, but perhaps to be more connected in different manners, different aspects of the car industry, that would be something nice. I know it's all very vaguish language.
Because we don't know yet, maybe.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Correct, yeah. And at the same time, I think what we enjoy, which you've seen in the business, is also the content part of things. I think it's something exciting. We enjoy that. So hoping to be able to grow something that people can relate to. Like the What's Your Story series, a lot of the other stuff that we do that helps with the community building,
Storytelling
Yeah, yeah.
aspect of it.
And what else? No, I'm not gonna plan to grow more hair.
I wanted to ask about
But I would like to take a bit more time to travel and explore different aspects. Travel is also, I think, very similarly. It's my time off. It's where I get to reset creatively,
I
get
always
some
say that,
inspiration. People will say, "Why do you keep going back to Japan?" So it's my hometown, and I love the ramen.
shit lah,
right?
really?
Yeah,
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 same,
yeah.
When you know, you know.
Yeah.
When you know,
Yeah.
It's
you
the best
know.
shit, lah. It's the best shit, lah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
A lot of people don't know this, right? But like sometimes, right, you see it as like, why are you wasting so much money going back there in some ways?
Yeah.
But sometimes, right, when you go to a different place, right, like you don't need to necessarily go back to Japan. I
Yeah.
mean, you can go to different
Yeah.
countries and
Yeah.
all that,
Yeah.
right? But if you go back to Japan, you go to different cities and all that,
Yeah.
sometimes it strikes something.
It's different. It's different every time because I don't go back to the same places. I've done the city scenes already. I'm pretty much done. Tokyo, Osaka.
Yeah.
We've done all of that. My enjoyment is actually driving around. And
Yeah,
the previous years we drove down the southern tip. Yeah, all different different areas. Last year was interesting. We did Motegi, we did Hakone, we did all the different drift circuits, and then
crazy, man.
it was a fantastic eye opener for me.
What
Yeah.
car did you drive, bro?
I drove a K car to half its life.
Bro, you know those cube
Yes.
like fridge looking
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
It's a staple in Japan.
It is a
Really
staple.
short
Yes.
frontal.
Yeah. And it's so
Much-
practical
much very
there.
small.
But I think if I may say this, Japan, like every other country we know, it's not perfect. It has its goods and bads. It's got its challenges, advantages and disadvantages. But I enjoy the culture. I enjoy meeting the people there.
food.
The food is great.
incredible.
No complaints. But again, I'm a bit of an otaku, right? So I will geek out at trying to understand why things are done a certain way. There's an obsession about how they do things. Of course, the ones who've lived my friends in Japan will tell you sometimes the government processes are so tedious. There's so many
ridiculous.
forms to fill and all that. I get that. They're very process driven and it excel in that. But it's again like previous trips studying how does that freaking ice cream work the way it does, right?
How's that
Or,
toilet?
yeah,
Understand
you know,
where's
yeah.
my asshole?
Correct. And it sings to you.
Music?
And it's all these things that that you think, and it constantly it inspires the same thought process that we put into our work as well.
Yeah.
So I look at it as a recharge, a rethink, and then look to put more ideas into the business every time we travel. So yeah, maybe
We should
more
aim
of
for that, bro. We should aim. We go together, bro. It'll
Yes.
be damn fun, man.
Yes.
Oh my god, lah.
You cycle at Japan too.
Yes,
Oh
that's
my
also on my bucket list, but I can't decide if I want to eat more or cycle more. That's the
Cycle and
problem.
eat.
Yeah,
There's so many.
I can't do both.
Can't do both. Can't do both. Yeah, they don't jive together.
No, they don't.
They
jive
don't.
together.
Yeah, man.
They-
Yeah.
they don't.
I don't know, but you guys got any last questions?
Favorite
Any-
car.
Favorite car? Wow. Shit.
That's like asking about your favorite actress again. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
It changes every time, lah, but I suppose now, lah, right?
today.
Today, I've always been a big Porsche fan. I enjoy the cars. I think if you ask me what I would do, what I would get if I could, if I had the means to, I would get a Singer 911.
Can you just Google that? Singer 911, Porsche Singer 911.
That's always been an inspiration in the way they built and engineered their cars. I like it because you're gonna have to put it up on screen and you can appreciate how retro it looks. It's essentially a rebuilt air-cooled car, and everything. You basically buy an old 964 or previously was a 993, and you send it over to Singer, depending on which model. And we've got a few here. And you can send it either to the UK for the DLS or to California for the regular ones, regular like just a few million regular, and they will take it apart. They will strengthen the chassis.
Wow, okay.
The whole entire bodywork is made from carbon fiber. Every nut and bolt is machined.
I want to ask you,
Yes.
do you know how to work this car?
As in to drive it?
Like the detail and everything?
Yeah.
'Cause my uncle has this car.
Okay.
He's looking
Okay.
to restore it.
Yeah.
He's red. I think it's the original color.
Okay.
Yeah. If I share him your
Yes.
Instagram and he
Bro, confirm
he
can,
with it,
bro.
right?
Yeah.
Because he's looking to restore it.
Yeah.
But he got a roof or not? He parked indoor, right?
He parked indoor. His car is always in his garage. Even put the
The
black thing.
cover.
Yeah.
He only drove it once and
Yeah.
he used it for my wedding, which
Yeah.
I really appreciate.
These are air-cooled classics, and these are all the rage right now. They're beautiful because if you look at the car, it has all the touches. The newer cars are great. They're aerodynamically fantastic. They do
old
everything,
cars
but they're large now.
Yeah.
They are so complex, and they are so cutting edge to the point that somehow, perhaps if I may be bold enough to say, it's lost a bit of the simplicity of the design of what the old cars. I'm a bit of an old soul, like a lot of my clients and a lot of my friends as well. We like the analog feel of things. We
Yep,
don't
yep.
like it so much on the digital side. I can
You don't want
appreciate.
to press a button inside a
No,
car, right?
you don't want to. You want to crank it up. You want to
Yeah.
see metal dials that are machined out,
Yeah.
right? You want to shift gears. You want to hear that rumble. And
right,
these
right.
cars are the epitome. And I think with the Singers, what they've done is they take cars like these and they make it modern, but still retains
the old soul.
everything that is analog about it.
I think I feel right, like every time people compare cars to that analog feel, it's always similar to watches in some way.
Very much so.
It's such a, how does it work without digital?
Yes.
That's the thing.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
how did humankind reach this point,
Yes,
right? Where
yeah.
we knew that by structuring gears and bolts,
Yes.
it can do something.
Yes.
It's so industrial,
Yes.
right?
In the same way you're wearing an Apple Watch, I'm wearing an Apple Watch.
Yeah.
I can't do it because I can't go without it because it's counting all my workouts,
Steps,
my
rings.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then I actually that's another reason why I use the Apple Watch. I get a lot of phone calls, I get a lot of texts, and sometimes it gets maybe a little bit much for me.
Does it?
So my phone's always on silent.
Right.
So my messages, I can actually view them on my watch. So it's a
Yeah.
little bit more calming. I don't have to flip up my phone.
Yeah.
Real question I
yeah.
want to ask, because I have this really big problem of replying my people
Yeah.
on my phone.
Yeah.
But I don't really see what I'm
Yeah,
working. Does that really help?
Yeah, it helps
It does. It does. It's like one buffer. It's almost like having a PA there holding your phone
Can you
for
reply? Can you reply?
Yeah.
What?
you. You can and you can not. You choose not to reply. That's
But at least
yeah.
you see like okay, this is not so important. You go
And
later.
it's not in a phone like you got to jump into it. You can sort of glance at it and okay, all right. I'll make a note.
Yeah. And also sometimes for me, because I cycle to work, right? sometimes I can just activate Siri via my watch. So,
Yes.
for example, if I have AirPods on and I
Yeah.
want to change the music, I just go, hey Siri, change the song.
Yeah.
Or if I want to reply to a message, I see Jen, it's like, dinner is ready. Reply Jen, okay.
That's quite handy.
Yeah.
But I'm very guilty in not replying messages recently. Like, terrible.
So
Like a celebrity.
No lah. because the content, I work as an MC. So
Okay.
when I'm doing like events and everything, I choose not to touch my phone, you know?
Okay, yeah.
yeah. But like Darren mentioned, sometimes it creates this anxiety because sometimes
Yeah.
there's just an over pour of messages.
Yes.
So that's why it feels as if like,
Yeah.
just too
Yeah.
much. Like, notifications and all that shit.
Yeah.
It happens all at once.
Pressure, brother.
Yeah. But you can always just activate like a private mode or whatever, and then it kind
You
of
can,
uses it. But it defeats the purpose of
In the
having it.
feature. So with the watch, at least I got something that keeps time. At the same time, I can also curate. And I
Yeah.
put aside time when I'm back on my table, then I'll reply.
Yep. Yeah. So I think it works in some ways, but it works against you in some ways.
Yeah.
But it's not that expensive now, bro. I think like SE watches,
Yes.
like
It's quite cheap. It's not even 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's quite
pretty
affordable.
good. And you can try it out, and if you don't like it, just reset it to someone because I bet with you there's someone else that
Yes.
wants the Apple Watch
Correct,
as well. So
correct.
it's pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, just get above Series 4 and it's
Yeah,
great already,
yeah.
man.
I'm sold.
Yeah. All right, Darren. Any last things you want to shout out, bro? I'll put all your Instagram, your Facebook
Thank
stuff, all on the.
Just happy to
description.
be here. Thank you for having me
No,
here.
it's our pleasure.
I've
Thank
never
you
been
for
on a
coming here.
podcast. I've never been on a podcast before, so this is my first.
You run sort of a podcast also lah.
Not really, yeah. I call it an interview.
But I think it's just so crazy to meet people that are so passionate about their work.
Yeah.
I just feel it.
Yeah.
You just know.
Thank you.
And like I think even the day we met, you can tell, right? We just clicked on in so many ways. And like, Charles, I feel like he's been itchy to just like, do I know these two guys? They would hit it off so well. Bro, and that day you're like, wow. He brought me to that restaurant. We were just like seeing cars. And for me, and Andrew and Poye will know this, even Nick will know. I'm not a car guy, but when I was there, I could feel the love. When I felt the love, I'm like, bro, what is this about? And you're like, bro, just look at that detail. I think these are things that like, such a core memory for me.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate just knowing you also, bro.
Thank you.
And like
Likewise.
you've transformed to Malaysia. You just don't think so humble lah, bro.
I think anything that we have done so far, I really give thanks to God, for my family, my wife, my parents. I think you've heard about the stories about my dad. So I think he has become that inspiration for me.
It's the real champ.
My mom is also one of the strongest inspirations. She is very passionate about what she does, and she's instilled a certain commitment to a drive that I've learned as well from her. And also for me, I'm very thankful. Every time somebody says, you have a great business, we like it. This is amazing, or we just saw another episode and this is so wonderful. And I always go back to being thankful for it, because it wouldn't happen without a team of people. And I've got a great team of guys, and they really put their heart into it. I know,
I can see it.
I reach home and I'm late. I'm working on stuff, and I can see they're exchanging WhatsApp chats, updating on what's finished, what's
crazy.
up for the next day, and it's late into the night. And they're so dedicated to it, and I have to thank them, because without it, the business will not work. If you don't have the people to drive it, I can only do so much.
One man can only do so much, man. Yeah. And I
So,
can feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it in your garage, my guy. Like,
Yeah.
And I appreciate knowing you as well, man.
Thank you.
It's a great pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah. If you guys like the podcast, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
You want to send your cars? Please remember. To send
yeah,
it to
dude.
them
I'll
as
leave
well.
all your details
Yeah.
Sure.
in the description below. And then if you got any more links, just let me know, man.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, we got a post for the camera for a thumbnail. Let's go. Woo. All right, dude. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Dude, crazy, man. Crazy.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Actually, I was kind of worried, like when